If I knew then what I know now, sometimes I wonder, would I be the same or would I? Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble morning. Continue to have a blessed and humble day. This y'all shorty Rachel. Let me see, make sure my mic is working. Is there like a noise with my mic? I don't know. Is there like a noise with my mic? All right, this John is all right. All right, I apologize. Apologize. All right, so let me welcome all of y'all to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast, y'all. Y'all know when it comes to the podcast, we talk about it all, right? So we got random topics today, random topics and thoughts. We're gonna be reviewing and reacting to current news. Then we're gonna review and react to the most hated and banned from social media, right? These are open panels. Lately, we've been talking about what's been going on in our communities with our children, right? Y'all more than welcome to come up, right? Tell a story that's happening in your community, right? Give your opinions, right? Try to bring a solution to the table. Like I've told people, man, I appreciate everybody that hops on these panels, has positive and respectful conversations with a shorty, right? Hey, listen, man, we could talk about everything on here. It doesn't just have to be about the parenting and the kids. But lately, this is something that is going around, right? We got parents, right? We got parents that got, we got households, right? They got parents, right? A mother and a father in there that are raising kids, right? Then we got households with single parents, right? Some of these parents are co-parenting. Some of these parents are having issues co-parenting, right? So a lot of us is just trying to bring solutions to the table. How can we help our kids, right? Um, Me personally, like I've told a lot of people, there's a lot of people in the hood that really don't want to change, that don't want to, make a difference, right? So I feel as though like it's time to start, doing things differently, right? And I've noticed that a lot of people, blessings styled by her meekness. Blessings, how you doing this morning? We got her meekness in the building, baby. Um, so like I've told a lot of people, right? One thing that I'm taking, like I'm really starting to understand now, right? A lot of old heads used to say it, right, back in the days, right? And there's a lot of people sitting me down trying to tell me, a lot of these kids just really need to bump their heads, right? So what's crazy is, right, I am coming to the conclusion that it's time. Once your child reaches a certain age, right, because I've noticed that a lot of parents out here are not bad parents. They're really doing their best with what they've got, right? Especially a lot of these single parents out here, right, that don't have a backup plan, that don't have and I say it a lot here, right? Not everybody that rides with you is for you. So many people could say I love you, stab you in the back, and listen, I think a majority of this is because a lot of these kids want to grow up. A lot of these kids, right, want to help their parents because they see their parents go through a lot, right? A lot of these kids are spoiled, right? And I'm just throwing a couple things out there, right? And like I said, these are open panels. Anybody's more than welcome to come up. I will be reviewing and reacting, right? If I have to pause so that we can have a conversation, y'all more than welcome to come up here, right? Have a quick conversation with a shorty, right? If I'm like in the middle of reviewing and reacting. But yo, listen, let's do this. That's what these panels are here for. That's why I open them up on the weekends, right? A lot of people have a lot of good ideas, a lot of great solutions. The question is, a lot of us have to implement them solutions, all right, and put them solutions into our lives, right? Like for me, I had to learn that in order to help my son, I had to take the help that was being offered to me, but I wasn't going to just take it from anybody. The help that I took had to be from somebody that I could really trust. You see where I'm coming from? Like, I'm not just trusting anybody to help me when it comes to my kids, but I took the help and it's made a major difference. Have I made mistakes? Yes. Any parent, every parent makes mistakes. None of us was given a manual, right? When we had these kids. Like a lot of us, like me, for example, I don't believe in abortion. So I'm not going to sit here, right? Oh, listen, it's your fault. No, I brought you into this world. So by any means necessary, I'm going to help my child. Like my child has tied my hands a couple times, and I've been blessed that I've had the support. If it's not my fiance, my daughter's father, is my old head. Mom Duke's across the street. She helped raise me. Like her daughter's my little sister. If not, is my kid's godmother. And listen, me and her go up and down. Like we go through it sometimes, but we grew up with each other. So that little support system behind me helps me, right? My boy's father is not here, and I don't push my fiance onto my boys, right? That's because I have a daughter with him. So I'm kind of mixing everything up, right? Facts, your meekness. She said, oh, yes, all parents make mistakes just like our kids. And that's something that I had to tell my son the other day, right? We got into it, not fighting. Like we got into a little disagreement, right? So let me fix it. I keep forgetting, listen, man. Like when I go to the event, sometimes I slip off and I keep thinking I'm in the hood and I'm just talking to the people in my community. No. Rachel. We got into a little disagreement, right? And he said some stuff that like hurt me, and I said, "Yo," I kind of snapped back a little bit, and I said some stuff that kind of hurt him. But then we was able to talk after a couple of days because I needed him to calm down, to understand. Yo, listen, man, baby boy, I need you to just take accountability, take responsibility. When you're wrong in a situation, you're wrong. So I needed him to understand that situation. So, um, it was like he was mad at my fiance, so it's kind of like, my fiance can't come talk to him right now. So my only choice was his godmom. So I left him over there. I was like, yo, keep him. Like, so it's like, we need that support system. And a lot of single parents out here don't really have a support system with them at all. Right. So that's been the conversation lately with all this, right? For the past couple of days here. Like I said, people, you're more than welcome to come up here. It's Sunday. I am going to react to the current news, right? We're going to get this podcast started. And like I said, I will always pause the review and reacting for us to have a positive, respectful conversation. It's always needed. These topics need to be talked about. And I would love to hear from more parents. Like that helps me out when I go speak to when I go speak to the mayor, the governor, all of them up there in the legislators, when I'm over there asking, we need these changes, we need these resources. And I feel as though that more parents, right, need to come and go to them community meetings that they have. It doesn't matter what city, what state you're in, attend them. So at least that you could know what's happening. Me, I started going live because I've noticed that like a lot of elderly were talking to me, right? And this is one of the reasons why I started going live. These elderly people can't make it to those meetings, right? They have to be at home for whatever reason. Sometimes they can't leave, especially now in the cold ass weather, right? We have a meeting now where I'm in North Philadelphia. We have a meeting on December 12th, right? And a lot of them can't go. So I'm gonna go live on Facebook and on YouTube so that the ones that can't go here in North Philly, right, and attend any of these meetings, they cannot attend them, they can see it on the live. So me, like I said, I'm trying to do things different. I'm trying to break the chains of, the chains of society and be who I'm truly meant to be. I'm not going to be staced. I'm not going to be stuck. Listen, because at the end of the day, I don't get tired of saying it. We're free slaves, right? We not living in the era that our ancestors was living. But listen, you know what changed? They gave us a little device. Now we're sunk into it, manipulated and brainwashed, especially our kids' era. All their whole era is nothing but technology. Me, I was brought up in an era where it was half and half. I got to, be out there. I know, do a lot of different things, but I was also in that era where internet was coming out. The phones was being introduced to us. You see where I'm coming from? So I call like the anybody that was being brought up in the 90s and early 2000s, like we're like half breeds. I call us half breeds. These kids now ain't nothing but AI robots. We're like cyborgs. We're like in between. Like, listen, man, I'm sorry. You have to make a little, joke out of certain things sometimes because the way shit is now, it's like sometimes I wish I can go back to the 90s. I wish I could, experience a little bit of what all them stories my baby pop tells me, that he experienced in the 80s, even though he had a life, but like them good times that he had, I'm sitting here like, damn, I wish it was like that in the 90s. But I had some good times in the 90s. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I had some good times. Like my community didn't start changing right here in HP And so the little girl Ariana De Jesus died. Um, I think it was a couple murders out here, like of mistaken identity, back to back. One of the mistaken identities was a young boy from my block, right? And it's like I've noticed that every block, every community, they used to have block parties. We used to have gatherings. Like we used to go from block to block and just chill and fall back, and everybody used to know each other. But when all that started happening somewhere in the 2000s, I can't remember. I was becoming, I was in between, right? I was in between a little girl, a teenager, and a woman. Like I don't know what you call that. Like, but I knew so much. You know how Brittany got that song? I'm not a girl, not yet a woman. Shit. So I was in between. But like I do wish we can go back to the late 90s, early 2000s for me, because it was kind of like one of the best times. If I can go back in time, we'll be around there before everything got messed up around here in my community. For real, for real. It was when we had some of the best times. But anyways, y'all, we're gonna get this podcast started. Blessings, blessings. Good morning, Jamal Fareed. He says salute, Rachel Mods and all in the chat. Hit the like button on the way in. Share, subscribe. It's free. And you listen, man. I surely would appreciate that. Help a shorty get into the algorithm, right? Um, but you don't have to hit the like button unless you're enjoying the stream. The dislike button is right there. But a shorty would highly appreciate it, right? If y'all would share the video for shorty so y'all can help bring awareness to whatever topic is being brought up here. And I appreciate everybody. But let's get this podcast started. I hope all of y'all, like I said, is having a blessed and humble morning. Continue to have a blessed and humble day. It's 40 degrees here in North Philadelphia. It is, it's not as cold as it was yesterday. It was a little chilly out there. You still gotta bundle up, man. But if you gotta go out there, man, go out there, enjoy that fresh air. Don't just be stuck in the house all day because it's cold, man. But we're gonna start this live off like always, man, with a little video from Papa Duck. And like I said, here we go. Let's hear what Papa Duck gotta say. Then we're gonna hit to the current news and into the yesterday we did what was it? YouTube's most hated and banned videos, right? And today we're gonna continue on with where's the thingy at? Today is gonna be YouTube's disgusting terminated channels. We're gonna see what can somebody do that can get their channels terminated and why. Yesterday we watched a couple videos on why people got terminated, why their channels got banned. And I listen, man, I told a lot of people be careful when it comes to them thumbnails and using other people's videos, right? And it's that person that made that video, man. Be cautious; they will ban you for life from YouTube, for real, for real. So guys, be careful. But let's hear what Papa Duck gotta say. And I appreciate everybody that's here. I appreciate my day one subscribers, my new subscribers. A big shout out to each and every one of y'all. Because the shorty wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all.
And people just don't get it. Yo, what's happening, man? It's your boy Papa Duck. You already know what time it is, man. And people just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand now why we are no better than the peasants that we read about in books. And this is no disrespect. I'm gonna tell you why. We all know that when you go to prison, you become a slave, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know this.
Facts.
And they're going to make sure that a majority of us going to go to prison at some time of our life because we are faced with a lifelong responsibility, which is bills that you're going to pay from the time you check in to the time you check out. And they know most people have limited resources, limited education, all of the above.
Yo, he is spitting some gems right now. Because just the other day I told my son, I said, son, right? And not just the other day. When was this? This was like 2 days ago. Right? I said to him, son, I'm being hard on you because I know what you could do. I know what you're capable of doing. You keep, how can I say it? You keep underestimating yourself. I don't know how to put it into words. Like he keeps doubting himself. So I try to push him and I try to motivate him, but I don't try to go too hard because I don't want him to shut down. So I got told him, I was like, at the end of the day, right? In order for him to survive out here, he has to stop focusing on the dumb stuff out here, right? If he doesn't want to keep getting blamed for things that he don't do when he's out there in these streets, I was like, listen, change the atmosphere, change the group. And what's crazy is, right, that's why he says he don't want to be here in this community, right, where I'm at right now. Like, And I could understand. It's not me. I'm not the problem. It's like at first I thought I was the problem. But then I had to sit here and realize that while I was listening to him, it's everybody out here. The negativity, how toxic people are, how people don't want to change. They want to stay in the hood. A lot of people in here want to change. I mean, don't want to change. They don't want to leave. My son wants change. My son wants to see us better ourselves. And it's crazy, right? Because like before I got into this accident, I was saving my money up so that I could do, I could get the hell out of here, focus on this community center and much more. So that way, like, listen, man, in the process, like with this community center, I feel as though if these kids focus hard enough, we can get them out the hell. The ones that want the help, the ones that don't want it, listen, unfortunately, there's nothing that we can do until they realize that they want the change in their lives. Because there's a lot of kids out here that are, listen, they're like I don't know if y'all remember the people back in the days. This is my house. I'm not leaving. Can nobody take me out? I'm saying it's like, damn. No, this is my block. I own this block. Ain't nobody taking me. I'm like, you own the block now? I was like, ooh, you falling into the trap. So it's so much going on out here. That's why I tell my son, man, like I just want him to be ready. Like I know that he is capable of doing the things that he doubts himself of doing. And he just got to push himself a little more. So I'm just here to motivate him. I'm not going to let him, bring himself down because the friends around him don't want no change, but he does. It's time to drop that group. It's time to, surround yourself with people that think like you, that are, motivating themselves, that could motivate you while you're motivating them. Because the group that you're in now is holding you back while you're trying to motivate yourself and motivate them. It don't work like that, son. That's what I want him to understand. So it's crazy that I took him out the block. Well, he kind of took himself because it took that argument. But I'm saying, I was like, damn, see, when kids lash out, sometimes we got to listen. We have got to listen. So my focus is, like I said before, getting myself together, finishing with this physical therapy and everything, and getting the hell out of here. And just help those that want to be helped. Because I'm not going to focus on the ones that don't want it, especially these adults. These adults, hell no. If you don't want no help, you don't want no support, hey, look, listen, when you're ready, the resources are everywhere. So let's continue. Let's listen to what Papa Doug got to say. Yo, he is on point with this, man. I don't see kids as profit. I see them as the future, but not for profit. I see them, listen, a lot of them, they got so many skills. Like, y'all seen these 8, 7, 6-year-olds out here planting trees, gardening, growing veggies and fruits?
There's going to be a time you're going to commit a crime. This is why in America we have over 2 million plus people incarcerated. That's a big number. Now, let me tell you something, right? I'm going to show y'all a video, and this is going to blow your mind. Remember,
show me,
America is here to make sure your pockets are depleted. Meaning every month, they're trying to suck every quarter and dime that you receive from working, okay? That's going to make sure that you're going to continue to work and you're going to continue to be a slave, whether you're in prison or out. This is one thing people don't understand. You can physically be in prison or mentally be in prison. It's still prison. So don't think because you're out of prison that you're not in prison. You just don't know you're in prison. Now, this is the crazy thing about it. They've monopolized and monetized private prisons. And I'm going to show you this video that's going to show you the ways they do this. Prison has become a system. What is a system? A system is an ongoing thing that is only going to be perfected as time goes by. And they're going to make sure if you've ever been in prison, you're going to come back due to collateral consequences, which you are faced with over 45,000 of them. Okay? I've talked about this so many times. Just an example right quick before I show you this video.
Oh, and there's more prisons coming. More private prisons. A lot of money is being invested in so many private prisons. And I'm sitting here like, damn, man. And these kids don't get it. Y'all falling into this. Stop. Look, listen, man, it's crazy. I can't tell nobody what to do, but I wish a lot of the youth will stop following these men out here. They're not even men, little boys in men's bodies that are on the streets thinking they still cool, selling, drugs, doing this, doing that, scheming, scamming. Like, y'all in y'all 40s and still don't got a career, don't got a house, don't got a car. Some of y'all just sit here, look for females that are on SSI or welfare, want to live from house to house. This chick fuck up, you go to that one. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it is time. It is time. It's time for y'all to get out these streets and do something. But hey, y'all want to be in them streets. And it's unfortunate that a lot of the youth follows these grown ass men. Like,
What is a collateral consequence? When you go to prison, you come home, you can't adopt, you can't bear arms. If you're renting an apartment, a lot of the times, majority of the times, if you're a convicted felon, you can't put your name on that lease, or you can't live in HOA communities as a convicted felon. That's just a couple, and you got 45,000 of them. Go look it up. Now, let me show you this video that's going to show you the ways that when you go to prison, it's a business, and it depletes your pockets.
People don't want to hear that shit.
And it hurts the loved ones.
I agree.
That you leave. And I know a lot of y'all gonna say, well, you don't do the crime, don't do the time. When you placed in a society like this that is projected that a certain group of people are going to go to prison, as statistics show, that lets you know that something ain't right.
Right.
Check this video out. Put your comments on the bottom of it, man. Let me know how y'all feel, and I will come back and I will give y'all my say so and take on what I'm about to show y'all. Check this out.
There's a profit incentive to incarcerating people. There are some companies who are showing big profits who will tell you that things have never been better. Global Telling takes advantage of people who are so vulnerable. Father's in prison, it costs $17 to call dad for 15 minutes. Corizon makes money off sick prisoners by denying care. It's as simple as that. The Geo Group is able to make amazing profits by not doing their job, by not keeping facilities clean, by going cheap. The bail bondsman industry is taking advantage of people in jail by charging unbelievable amounts of money to get out. Cops seize assets by merely suspecting someone of illegal behavior. And so your car, or whatever possessions you have on your person, can be taken away. CCA is moving to make prison sentences longer and harsher and making laws easier to break. America has 2.2 million incarcerated people. It's a statistic that we should be ashamed of.
Prison is a business. Of course, the people that's running the world are going to make sure you go to prison because they need people to do labor. Cheap labor is slavery. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, blue, green. It doesn't matter, bro. Okay? Cheap labor. And you do labor for Fortune 500 companies that really don't need the fucking labor. That's the sad part of it all. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell y'all is I'm just trying to get y'all to think. Understand.
I mean, he ain't lying. I've been hearing rumors about how they really want to be investing more in these private prisons now that they're doing this mass deportation. I don't know how all this is going to go, right? But they really investing. And I hope y'all enjoy all them Jordans, right? We all in the hood investing in Jordans. All the money that going to them Jordans are going right into them private prisons. Listen, man, I know that. Listen, I know about Michael Jordan. They spoke about Michael Jordan a lot when I was little and stuff like that. I mean, until I thought he was a good person until, you know, I heard himself say, shit, he's taking our money. He's putting that shit in, he's building his own private prisons. Like, man, for those of y'all that don't believe it, look for the clip. The clip's still floating around, whether you have Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, oh my God, Twitter. I could just keep on down the line. So many social media apps that are out here, man. This shit is crazy, man. I'm sitting here, I was like, damn. Then I started questioning, like, why? Why is he, like, a lot of people have been wrongly accused. I've seen so many men wrongly accused. A lot should be in jail, but they out here walking. But the innocent are locked up, and the ones that should be locked up are out here. And I'm not going to ever get tired of saying that.
And that crime is by choice, but by force. See, a lot of people want to understand that if you haven't grown up on a certain side of the tracks, the courts doesn't care about street codes. They don't have a clue what's going on because they don't give a fuck. Okay? A lot of people that's in prison and jail, I wouldn't say, you know, don't punish them, because a lot of them, like, you know, when you're doing stuff messing with kids and all, you need to be under the fucking jail. But
Shit, those, yo, we building caskets up in this for them, for real.
as a majority of the things that people go to jail for is just a lack of education, understanding, a lack of resources, and things like that. And all that other stuff, the tough crimes and you killing people, all that, man, go do the time. I understand that. But I do know and I understand that when you're faced in this society in America, a lot of times you're going to go to jail, especially as a black person or just a person of struggle, simply because they're going to make sure that you go to prison in ways that you don't understand. This is where the psychology part comes in. Okay. That's a whole nother video. I always say that because it's going to take a whole nother video to explain that. There's not over 2 million people plus in this country that's in jail by default, bro. Not by default, I'm sorry, but by coincidence. Okay. Understand with lack of education, lack of understanding, lack of resources, you're going to prison.
Facts.
They're pushing this bullshit music. You're going to prison. They know what they're doing, bro. We already know the music business went straight garbage. And they're promoting all that promiscuous shit. They're promoting killing, drugs. They highlighting everything from music to sitcoms, TV, Hollywood.
Yo, you ain't lying. Like, hey, let's not forget about the Feminist Act, how it got certain women out here, imprisoning men that don't do shit to them. Like, shout out to these men out here that right now are, breaking the chains of society, right? And they notice that their baby mama or something is with some bullshit or something, they just want to argue, they be avoiding. I mean, it gets the baby mama even madder, but you know what they're avoiding? Jail time. So they avoid going to the house, when she's mad. Like if she's arguing for days, they just don't need a call or nothing. I mean, you know who pays this? Who pays the consequences? The kids. Because what's crazy is I've heard these fathers say, I want to be around my child, but I can't. Because if I go around them, the arguing, the bullshit, then I'm in handcuffs and she's walking like nothing. So a lot of them are trying to avoid this shit. So it's like, damn, I'm glad for those that are waking up and not stuck in bed. Because a lot of people say I'm woke, but they still in bed. Like if you still in bed, go back to sleep. Stay the fuck in bed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I cussed.
In the news, every motherfucking thing that's going to make sure you want to tote a gun, you want to be a bad guy. And women want bad guys. That's another psychology.
Yep.
That's just what it is. So they're going to make sure all that's in place.
But see, not all women want them bad guys from these streets, man. Listen, like I keep telling, everybody got a preference, everybody got a type. I got mine, and I'm not the only female that says the same shit. I don't want that type of nigga. That to me doesn't give him respect. Why? Because he out here flashing guns, throwing money everywhere from club to club, selling drugs. Man, get the fuck out my face. How about a nigga that stands up for himself, that makes his own money, that's not out here working for the streets, or working for another mofo? A man that, has a stable head on his shoulders. Somebody that thinks for himself, that, respects you, doesn't call you out your name, holds the door open for you. You see where I'm coming from? That cares for you and cares for your kids if you do got kids. And if you don't got kids, but respects you well enough to, a man that treats you like a queen so that you could treat him like a king. These females want to treat the men that treat women like kings, like shit, right? And then treat the men that are bums and scrubs and whatever you want to call them like kings. That's why I'm sitting here like, I don't want these females, some of these females. So yeah, it's true. This shit is crazy. Hey, Papa Dutch, see, random thoughts, random conversations. Like all of this go hand in hand. These kids is watching this. A lot of these kids, right? A lot of these parents leave them thinking that, the celebrities need to be their role models. That's what they didn't learn. A lot of these parents think, oh no, my child goes to school every day, 5 days out of the week for 8 hours. That's where he should eat breakfast and lunch at. When he come home, he can wait until make sure your child eat breakfast every morning. Make sure your child eats something at home. But you know what? This era is crazy. This era, I mean, a lot of people I think is waiting for the government to really do something. Y'all not noticing that it's y'all who got to do it?
You good? All right. They're gonna make sure that's all in place,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna make sure that your ass go to jail as long as they're controlling the
You know?
perception of what it is to grow up as a young black boy, what it is to grow up as a young man or young woman.
Mm-hmm.
They paint that perception, and you
Fact.
just follow suit and don't even know why. Okay, there's no representation of what a young black boy or a young man, no matter what color you are, growing up in America looks like. There's no success stories. That shit boring. We listen to so much negative shit. We don't want to hear nothing good. We want to promote the negative. And this is how it leads.
He ain't lying. Ain't nobody. That's what I've been saying for the last couple of days. Nobody want to promote the good. Nobody want to promote the successful. You know how many kids out here have graduated, Black, Hispanic, right, out of the hood with IQs that are real high. Like, listen, and nobody talks about that. No, they just want to talk about the little badass kids out here that do drugs. Oh, they never come out the hood. They want to stay stuck. No, there's a lot of them that do come out because they change their atmosphere, the people they're around, and much more. So, like, not all these kids are bad, but a lot of these kids, listen, man, but they, guess what? Who do y'all think they mimicking? The people that, say there's no more leaders. Well, if you're looking to follow, you're not going to see the leader because now you're following everything around that's trending.
Us in these fucked up situations. So with that being said, man, hopefully y'all got something from this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and like I tell y'all all the time, man, I love y'all. In order for you to be found, you must first be lost. Okay.
Shout out to Papa Duck, yo. Shout out to Papa Duck, yo. We gonna listen, man. He's spitting some gems. Make sure y'all go check Papa Duck out. Follow him. He be having some great conversations. I love when he go live. So we gonna kick it into the current news, guys. Oh, I have to switch. All right, let's switch real quick. I'm not dealing with the commercials.
Young children at a Texas daycare.
Oh, we saw this yesterday. Okay, hold on.
A family.
I was gonna say, like, why did it stay stuck on yesterday's clip? That's crazy. All right, so let's continue. All right, we on current news now. We got an update on couple who enslaved. Yo, I remember this shit. The couple that enslaved the Black kids. So they're facing news charges. Let's see what Undisputable got to say.
Who adopted Black children and abused them.
The
couple
shit.
Enslaved them.
Yo, they ain't shit. I think that couple, we need to build caskets for them. I know that we only build caskets for predators, right? Up in this joint, but we need to build caskets for motherfuckers like that. Like, yo.
And they got new charges. Put it up for a minute.
What are they new charges?
Remember these guys. In an update, Donald Ray Lance and Jean K. Whitefeather, a West Virginia couple accused of locking their adopted Black children in a barn and using them for forced labor, pleaded not guilty this week to a slew of new abuse charges, compounding the horrors allegedly inflicted on their defenseless kids. So Ms. Whitefeather, 62 years of age, is a cute man. She look evil as hell.
Yes.
Put her picture back up.
He isn't. Yo,
Damn.
I can't. I'm dead.
Looks like she abuses the husband.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm
Look,
just...
Yo, he ain't lying. I see why he said that. Look at the husband on the corner like that. Like, yes, madam. Yes, madam. When? How? Bitch ass nigga.
Whitefeather, 62. is accused of spraying and exposing 4 of her adopted children to bear spray and repellent. She is now facing 4 counts of child abuse resulting in bodily injury. Donald, the husband, 63, was also charged with 1 count of child abuse for striking one of the children. The couple
So she did more of
are
the
already charged with human trafficking of a minor,
What?
civil rights violations based on color, race, and/or ancestry, use of a minor child in forced labor,
Wow.
and child neglect, creating a substantial risk of serious bodily injury or death. They were already charged with that and still had access to children.
Oh, what? Wait. What the fuck was wrong with this judge? You see, this is why I say that a lot of us need to hit the legislators. Y'all do know that, as you know, we the people could put the judges that we, look at the policies. Like, nobody goes by policies no more. Nobody even goes to vote when it comes to these when it's time to vote for the legislators and stuff like that, or the Supreme Court. Like, y'all could put judges in place. Like, I'm not understanding what's up with, like, and I bet you it was a Democratic judge. I bet you.
Let me give you the background as to what happened initially. So police were conducting a wellness check. This was at the Cheyenne Lane home, October 2nd, 2023. They were shocked to discover 2 of the couple's 5 adopted children living in deplorable conditions. The children have been padlocked inside a ramshackle storage shed on the back of the property, had no working lights, had no running water.
Wow.
Testifying at their second bond hearing, Whitefeather explained that the barn was a, quote, teenage clubhouse, and insisted the children were not actually locked inside. So police reported that a small RV toilet seat, was placed in a barn for the children to use. At the second bond hearing, Whitefeather described the barn as a teenage clubhouse and claimed the children were never locked in, but the neighbors disputed the claim, stating the children were forced to do farm labor. They were not allowed inside the residence, according to.
Yo, my dog lives in a better condition than this. I'm telling you, man, they need to build a casket and throw them both in that John. Build them, dig a hole 50 feet deep and throw away the key, for real, for real.
To the indictment. Now, the children clearly said they were locked inside of the building. The police got to the property based on the original reporting. They had to break in the door. It was clearly locked. And the precedent of not allowing slaves inside of your property that you didn't want inside your home was alive and well with this couple. When the children were rescued, the 16-year-old girl told deputies they had been locked in a barn for about 12 hours, having last eaten at sunrise, according to Deputy H.K. Burdett. The children could not exit and required deputies to force entry. Inside, they encountered a disturbing smell and intense heat due to poor ventilation. According to court papers, both children appeared dirty, feral, reeking of body odor.
So these caregivers only cared about the money. That's all they cared about. And it's a shame because a lot of kids go through this. Like, there's a lot of kids that go through the foster care, and oh my God, the foster care is what I wish every kid, was able to avoid. But unfortunately, a lot of them, when there's nobody to take them in, nobody, that's where they go. When the parents give up or the parents ain't good parents and they can't be with them, that's the last place I wish for a child to go. And what's crazy is, right, when the people, like I said, we've been talking about this for the past couple of days, right? I don't want parents to think that the Department of Human Services, right, is only one service. There's multiple services in the Department of Human Services. It's not just DHS, CPS coming home because somebody called them to take your kids. You could also call the Department of Human Services to get help and resources for you and your kids.
While one of the children, the male child, had open sores on his bare feet. The children told investigators they were forced to sleep on a bare concrete floor.
Wow.
With no mattress and no covers. Police remained at the house for 3 hours before Lance arrived home with an 11-year-old male child. When authorities checked the home for other potential victims, they found the 9-year-old up in the loft. And
that's
Lance
crazy.
Was then placed under arrest. This is the initial incident. About an hour later, his wife came and guided deputies to another 6-year-old, a girl, who was visiting with another couple from their church.
I just have one question. Even though they're under foster care and all that, where's the social worker that comes in and checks on the kids' well-being? They're supposed to do a what is it, like a wellness check or something like that every so and so, I think it is, and check on the kids, make sure they're good in that house and everything. So where were the social workers that were supposed to check out on these kids? So this lady was just collecting a check, abusing these kids, and nobody came back to see if the kids were doing okay in this house. You see, some people don't belong in fields like this. I don't know why they come and apply for jobs like this if this is not what they want to do or have a passion for.
So White Feather and Lance have been locked up since June, when a judge revoked their initial bond and raised it to $500,000 apiece, more than double the amount they faced in October 2023. They made bail in February and were released to stand trial. The grand jury indicted the couple on more than a dozen new charges last month. December 2nd, the two pleaded not guilty on the superseding indictment charges. It was later discovered, I want you to put this up, later discovered that the couple sold an 80-acre ranch.
Oh, wow.
For $725,000. A few days later, White Feather's brother, Marcus Hughes, posted 2 bonds for $200,000 to release the couple from the South Central Regional Jail. Another once released, they sold the home where the alleged abuse occurred for $295,000, the other home. Those funds, seen as potential profits from human trafficking, are now inaccessible to the defendants. Even if the money came from legitimate sources, it was intended to fund further human trafficking and forced labor. Prosecutors argue typically they'll freeze the assets before you can do that. I'm okay with them doing it the way they did it. This was one of the most disturbing stories I reported on at Indisputable. I'm a foster child myself. I was a foster kid. All right. I know what that's like. I understand the neglect. I also understand the love. These individuals are on the extreme of evil. And the authorities had.
I think that sometimes I think the people that are in the system working, right, trying to, do these things, they fail. Some don't care. Some are like overworked. And what's crazy is, right, the ones that do care get overlooked. The system is tricky, right? The system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The question and the things that I question are the people in the system, right, that are working in the system that are supposed to be helping the people. So unfortunately, there were a lot of people around these kids that didn't care about these kids. What happened to them? Where were they going? And the person that they left them with cared less. All they cared about was the money and themselves. I don't feel bad for people like this. For me, like I said, throw away the key. Lock them up and throw away the key. Let's hope we get more updates on this, but we're gonna move on to the next news article. This is crazy. Let us shorty know what y'all think down below, right? The panels are always open. The link is in the description box in the chat down below, and it is also in the community wall.
New clues are emerging about the person of.
All right, so this is something I've been hearing a lot. Somebody sent me this video a couple days ago, right? They're saying that there's a former NYPD detective on third day of manhunt for United Healthcare. So they've been a couple of days on this manhunt. So they've been on a manhunt for United Healthcare CEO shooter. So this is the third day. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go and search for some videos, huh? Yeah, because this is the third day. I want to know what happened on the first and the second day. But we still gonna watch this. Let's continue.
New clues are emerging about the person of interest in the deadly shooting of United Healthcare CEO. A manhunt is underway right now as investigators race to try to retrace the alleged gunman's steps. Former NYPD detective and Professor Felipe Rodriguez Jr. joins me now for more on the investigation. Thanks so much for being with us.
You're gonna give me a recap,
sir.
right?
So I think it's sort of interesting that I can't recall in recent times when we've had so much information that's being shared with the public about a potential
I just want to rub their heads.
and yet we still don't have
Mirror,
a name. We still
mirror
don't
on
know
the
who
wall.
that person
Who's the
is.
fairest of them all?
Why is it with all the cameras that we have in New York
Rub
City, with
their
all the
heads.
ways that you can trace people from not just the cameras, but from DNA, for example, that coffee cup that he used, from the shell casings, that we still don't have an arrest in this case?
Well, I get that question quite often right now. So a lot of people say, we have DNA, we have advanced science, artificial intelligence. Why hasn't it been ID'd? Very simple. For you to be in that database and for us to be able to identify you, either you had to have a previous arrest or either some sort of entry or exit out of the country to an official port.
I hear them say that so much. So let me be another one of those that you hate so much, sir. Right? I'm gonna put it like this, and I don't get tired of saying it. There's so many cold cases out here. Y'all got so many cameras on these streets, right? Not just that. Every person that's born in a hospital, their DNA is stored. Fingerprints, handprints, footprints, toe prints. All that is kept in file. So all y'all gotta do is, I know it's extra work. Isn't that what y'all getting paid for? Y'all love y'all jobs. This is why I love the detectives that go the extra mile. But see, when those detectives go the extra mile, y'all motherfuckers want to sit here and arrest them, fire them, make them look like they're the worst ones. Like, See, I like those because they know y'all want to make excuse after excuse. Like if we the people don't know what the hell y'all be doing and what y'all got. Come on, let's be real. That's why we questioning it. Well, not everybody. I just know that a lot of us are. But shit, wouldn't y'all question it? If y'all knew the stuff that y'all didn't know back then, and now y'all know, oh wait, they got this, they got that. Y'all got all these people working. Oh my, you know what? Oh, keep those thoughts to yourself, Rachel. This is YouTube. This is not Rumble. This is not TikTok. You know what? This is making me want to do a live on TikTok.
In the airport, anything like that. But think about it. You have a lot of individuals that walk around fake IDs, as this gentleman did with a fake New Jersey driver's license. So we really might not even have the real identity at this time. And you can have all the DNA in the world. If you can't match it to a person, it's not very helpful.
Yeah. So we do know that there is potentially a person of interest that the police have narrowed it down to. So what happens then when a person?
I just got to go back real quick to the clip. He showed that video. Where is it?
Happens then when a person have narrowed it down is potentially a person of interest. So we do.
Paused it at the wrong time. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all don't have no DNA, but everybody's fingerprints is stored in a hospital. Once again, everybody's fingerprint. And it looks like, even though he has his face covered, he has no gloves. His fingerprint is on something.
So we do know that there is potentially a person of interest that the police have narrowed it down to. So what happens then? When a person is named a quote unquote person of interest, what does that mean?
Person of interest means that it's time, you know what, we're at that point that we have almost probable cause, you know, and we got to remember there's a lot of different legal levels. So I might think you did it. I might want to be able to question you. I want to see if you were even at the scene. You know, we could ask you a question, were you even there? And then we'd be able to tie it through the wrapper or the water bottle that he left behind. So we're trying to get contradictory statements because not always a person is going to confess. So when a person of interest is basically located, that's kind of us saying, you know what, we still a little bit more to get to that level of probable cause to arrest.
So there have been, and social media is not often the real world, but there are people who were speculating that perhaps this individual was a professional, given that he was able to escape as quickly as he did and evade police for as long as he has. But now, as we get a better picture of his movements before and after, it doesn't strike you that this was a professional, right? The fact that he would take his masks down to flirt with somebody at the hostel, thereby allowing himself to be photographed smiling, it doesn't sound.
Oh, so they got his picture too. So no, this wasn't a professional. This was probably somebody that watched movies at home.
Like what a professional would do.
I could go from two avenues on this.
I thought they was going to say they found a ninja assassin.
How many cameras do we have in New York City? And he was able to evade so many of them. You know, levels of professionalism come in many different, you know, forms. The way he manipulated that firearm when he was discharging it, you know, I'm surprised we haven't discussed that a lot more. That firearm was very unique in nature. So there's, you know, there's a little complexity to this individual. You know, I wouldn't say he's the ultimate assassin, but he's still very competent.
The ultimate assassin. So I wasn't tripping. They are trying to make him look like an ultimate assassin. Did he put some gloves on?
I don't think about that when I saw the video, and we're showing a little bit of it here as a freeze frame. But when that firearm jammed, he was able to rectify that situation very, very quickly. When you saw that portion of the video, what went through your mind?
As a firearms instructor, I said, you know what? I wish some students were able to clear that jam at that level of proficiency. So while everybody was saying, oh, the gun jammed, the gun did this, a lot of things could happen. And I really don't think the gun jammed. I just think it's a specialized type of weapon, especially with the suppressor that was on it. So you know what? The way he cleared that jam, whether he's a trained assassin or not, he was very proficient and he was very, you know, crafted his skill to get done what he needed to get done that day.
That's really interesting. We also had
So they're trying to figure out if this man was an assassin or just a regular person in the streets trying to shoot somebody. I mean, if he was an assassin, he wouldn't have gotten caught that easy on camera. But hey, I guess. I mean, listen, we got people out here trying to be Don Corleone and leaders of a mafia and cartels and shit.
Former commissioner of the NYPD, Rodney Harrison, a deputy commissioner on our show earlier this week. And I asked him about silencers, how easy they are to get it, how easy they are to get.
That was easy to get.
He said something interesting. He said that actually just having the silencer isn't illegal, but when you put it actually on a weapon, then that becomes illegal. But how does somebody even get a silencer in the state of New York, for example? They must be incredibly, because the only reason you would need one sounds to me like for nefarious reasons.
Damn, I mean, it's easy to get a silencer, but I mean, New York is different from Philly. The gun laws is different from Philly too. Way different from Philly. So whenever they catch whoever this person is, it's gonna go down. I'm telling y'all, it's really gonna go down. This happened in New York. It's going down.
Yes, once again, and we do have people that say, you know what, silencers help protect people's hearings, but you know what, that's why you have earmuffs and other sorts of noise control devices. To get a silencer in the state of New York, remember, it's a federal type of possession, so you would have to get, ATF approval, so all sorts of background investigations, paying some sort of fees. So it is a very difficult process. You just can't pick one up in the corner, gun store.
Yeah, really interesting. All right, Felipe Rodriguez, thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate it.
You see, you can't pick up one in the corner store no. But you could order one online. That's why I said it's not really that hard as they want to make it seem. You could order that, John. Let me see. Before I go on, blessings, glass, blaster art. What story can they promote to reduce the PR damage to insurance trying to harm the coming? Trying to stem the coming tsunami. That's a good question. So I'm gonna leave it up here for a lot of people to see because he has a good question. I can't answer it, but that's a good question. What story can they promote? That's a good question. Shout out to Glass Blaster Art. Appreciate the comment. Shout out to you. But if anybody can answer that, shit, I would appreciate that too. Shit, that's a good way of putting it.
The Pitt County Sheriff's Office said.
So we got deputies ask for help on finding runaway Pitt County teen. Also, we got a runaway kid.
The Pitt County Sheriff's Office says they are
6
looking
days
for
ago?
a runaway
Oh, wow.
15-year-old girl. Take a look at your screen. Deputies say Zayla Gray was last seen on Saturday in the county home road.
So we're gonna put it like this. I'm gonna do some more research. I don't know if they found the girl. Let me see. What's her name? Zayla Gray. Let me see. Update on Zayla Gray. Okay, so they did find her. Let me see. I'm not going to the videos. Let's go over here. What? So only on Facebook? All right, so the update is on Facebook. So let's continue to hear this and then we'll go to Facebook.
Area of Greenville. They say she's described as 5'9" with long black braids and wearing gray sweatpants and a black t-shirt. If you have information on her whereabouts, please contact the Pitt County Sheriff's Office or Pitt Greenville Crime Stoppers. Those numbers can be found on our website at witn.com. And through Crime Stoppers, you can remain anonymous and you may earn a cash reward.
Okay, so this little girl has been found, right? I don't why like they put the news report up, but they don't have an update on the news. So it looks like the family got on Facebook. So shout out to the family, but I don't know why they didn't, like, if they had this on the news, they could have just updated people. I don't know if y'all could hold on. Yeah, y'all should be able to see it. Right. So it says Zayla was reported missing overnight. She was last seen wearing a Nike shirt with a red, black, and gray logo, black leggings, light colored blue jean coat with gray hood, and white, gray, black high top Nike shoes. It is believed she may be with an individual who has connections to Wayne County, if located, called Greenville. But then you see somebody in the family. No, it says the police department. So why didn't they put a news? They didn't go on the news like. It says Zaya has returned home safely. Thank you all. Thank you, Jesus. Please watch over this family. I guess people doing their prayers. Guys, listen, man. We gotta be detectives in our kids' lives, yo. This is crazy, yo. But I'm glad her family found her. She's home. I don't know what happened. Why, she decided to leave. So I'm gonna have to, look into that. But I appreciate y'all for sending me this. And I reacted to this late as hell. So let's continue.
This is KCAL News at 10. Now, for days now, we've been waiting to hear what really happened.
LA County prosecutors allege father intentionally shot his 9-year-old child. Oh, wow. What would make a father shoot his 9-year-old child? A father intentionally shot his 9-year-old child, allegedly. So that's what LA prosecutors are saying. What in the world is going on, yo? I mean, it's not just with these kids, yo. I know a lot we've been asking what's going on with these kids, but what's also going on with these parents? Like I just cannot sit here and believe that the parents are just giving up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably some of these parents are giving up because if you shoot your child or abuse your child to death, like you just probably gave up on them. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say that. Something's got to be. I don't know. It's something in the air. Something in the air that's got these kids disrespecting their elders and the parents killing their kids or abusing their kids. Like, what in the world? Let's continue. Let's continue.
When a 9-year-old boy was shot and killed in West Rancho Dominguez.
Tonight, prosecutors have made a stunning allegation. The boy's own father shot him on purpose.
What?
KCAL's Rory Perez is at the courthouse for us tonight.
Why?
Prosecutors say 32-year-old Nicholas Thomas Jones shot and killed his own son, 9-year-old Princeton Jones, on Saturday night, and they allege he meant to do it. Defense attorney and former public defender Lou Shapiro says the charges spell it out.
Right, so the fact that he's charged with murder in the first degree indicates that they feel that he intentionally shot the boy rather than maybe he was shooting at somebody else and the boy was hit by a stray bullet.
Lou Shapiro, is he related to Ben Shapiro? But damn, this is like, yo, this father must have been possessed by a demon. Because I don't know what in the world could cause somebody to harm their own child like this. I mean, I ask it every time I see a situation like this, a case like this, why? What made you do it? Like, I understand that kids, you know, make you lose your patience. They make you get mad. They make you get angry. But look, man, there's nothing in this world that would make me sit here and harm my child just because they got me mad. Just because they pissed me off. Some people ain't shit.
That's not the case here. And also the other charge is child abuse. So when they're also charging child abuse, they're saying that this father intended on hurting, causing damage, and shooting in this case, given the murder charge as well.
But Jones supporters say they have it all wrong. Moments after Jones pleaded not guilty to charges of murder and child abuse resulting in death, his loved ones insisted he was a loving father to the little boy who family says was diagnosed with mild autism. His sister shared these pictures of the two in happy times, saying she doesn't know exactly what happened, but says her brother told her
this was all a misunderstanding. It didn't happen how you guys are putting it out. It didn't happen. It wasn't gang violence. It wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't child abuse. What? No child abuse. It was literally something a situation that just happened.
The criminal complaint goes on to say Jones has prior convictions without saying for what.
Hold up. A father ends up shooting their child, right? What happened? How you end up shooting your 9-year-old child? How old was he? Yeah, how you end up shooting your 9-year-old child? How? And if it was an accident, how? How was it an accident? Because there's no way in hell. Like, come on, man. Unless there was a shooting, like, you know, between you and somebody else or some shit like that. Like, I don't know. Something's off here.
A record search shows the county has twice brought him to court to get him to pay child support. And just this past August, the little boy's mother asked for a restraining order alleging he emotionally and mentally abused her for years.
One thing I was looking for that I didn't see is what's called a special circumstance enhancement, which would have made it a life without parole case or even death penalty. And that's usually when there's the added element of, let's say, somebody lying in wait, planning this out, ambushing somebody. They didn't go that far in the charge, which would indicate that this was something maybe that the father sort of came up with more in the spur of the moment than planned in advance.
Jones is being held with bail set at more than $3 million
this morning?
as prosecutors continue to look into how the deadly shooting happened. Of course, the biggest question is why.
Well, I think the mystery is, why would a father kill his own son?
I'm asking that question.
Why was this done intentionally? I think that's the answer everybody wants to know.
Jones is set to be back in court in early January. In Compton, I'm Lori Perez, KCAL News.
Once again, like I said, there's nothing in this world that my son could do. Nothing. I mean, listen, unless my son is trying to kill me, but even like that, like, I've seen parents still manage not to kill their kids and get them help and stuff like that. But 9 years old, a grown ass man, what excuse do you have? Like, something was off with this man. Something is off with this man. I don't know. Like, but we missing something. So it's like, that's why it's making it hard. Like, something's missing in this story. So I can't even really give my honest opinion, yo. I really can't. I feel like something's missing in that story.
He's known as the most.
So let's move on to the next topic, man. My condolences go out to that 9-year-old family, man. I don't know how that father could do that. Man, I pray for all the kids, yo. Like, this is not even the other StreamYard, so the poetry's on the other one. Shit. So we got most wanted man in Philadelphia accused of burying ex in shallow grave. Oh, wow. When this happened? How long did this happen? Well, it got uploaded yesterday, I guess, a day ago, right? Law and Crime. And this is from Philadelphia. Oh, damn. What the hell did he do? Most wanted man in Philadelphia accused of burying ex in shallow grounds. Damn, what you was trying to do? Make a sacrifice, or, what? Buried your ex-wife in a shallow ground? What was he thinking?
Wanted man in Philadelphia, accused of brutally murdering his ex-girlfriend and leaving her in a shallow grave. The horrific case initially unfolded last month when a woman's body was found in a shallow grave in a park in Philadelphia on November 7th. Her body was reportedly covered in twigs and leaves.
This happened last month?
Identified the victim as 29-year-old Melody Rivera. Melody was reported missing about a week before her body was discovered. According to police, she was last seen alive on Halloween, at first with a friend, until someone unexpected showed up. In a report by the Philadelphia Inquirer, Melody was driving with her friend when she was attacked by her ex-boyfriend, 29-year-old Giovanni Otero. Otero allegedly threw Melody's friend out of the car, then drove off with Melody. Police later found the car abandoned days later, while her body.
This could be a case of jealousy and obsession. I'm not sure. Let me see the description real quick. Park in Philadelphia on November 7. Her ex-boyfriend Giovanni said are responsible, and now a manhunt is on to find. So they haven't found him yet. I don't know. I have to do an update. But no, this could be the update because it's been a day ago. I don't know. But then I don't know when this was recorded because I know this is not alive. Let's see.
Body was discovered on November 7th. Investigators believe she was likely killed on November 1st. Police initially considered him to be a person of interest, and they wanted to question him after learning the two were involved in a dispute around the time Melody went missing. According to the report by the Philadelphia Inquirer, Melody's family said he had been harassing and threatening her for weeks before she went missing on Halloween. So when police wanted to talk to him, they were waiting to speak with him for weeks, but they never got a chance. Then more shocking details were released. Authorities learned Melody had been bludgeoned to death, and her death was ruled a homicide by violence. But when the medical examiner ruled on the cause of death, while he initially faced an abuse of corpse charge, his charges were upgraded to murder. Police discovered he hadn't checked in with his parole officer and hadn't been seen since. Police say his criminal history was lengthy and can be traced back to when he was just 12 years old. Otero served time on drug and gun charges in 2015, but he also served time in 2018 after being convicted of illegal gun possession, where he was sentenced to 3.5 years to 8 years in jail. And right before Melody's murder, he had just recently been released.
This is why I say that for me, I'm not into bad boys like that shit. I'm good. And I say like that because I like the combination of the nerdy and the bad boy. It's a big difference. I mean, like, what girl doesn't like a man to be a bad boy? But this right here, the definition of bad boys, that the guys that just be in and out of jail, like that to me is not a bad boy. I mean, but that's what they consider themselves. But after you're grown, why you want to be considered a bad boy? That's what I'm saying. Like, this is like that. When I was a kid, I wanted the bad boy. No, man, now I want a man. I'm a grown-ass woman that wants a man. Fuck this bad boy, this nerd shit. I want a man with a good head on his shoulders. Real shit. That can think for himself, that knows what he's doing, is respectful. Like, I could just keep going down the line. this right here, I don't understand why a lot of what do y'all see in these men to be in and out of jail? They see jail as their like second home. They don't want to change. They want to keep doing the same thing over and over. And I wish they would change. Shit. Let me answer this.
It's unclear where Otero is, but authorities are now calling him the most wanted man in Philadelphia. But for Melody's family, their life has forever been changed. Melody's 11-year-old son now has to grow up without his mother. And while her family was able to properly lay her to rest, they hope her killer will be found. Melody's sister, Martha Fred, told local station WPVI she didn't deserve this, especially by someone who supposedly loved her. The case even caught the attention of the U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals say Otero also goes by the alias Gozer. They say he has black hair, brown eyes, tattoos covering both hands, and a dagger behind his left ear. They are offering a reward of $5,000 for any information leading to an arrest. So we have a lot to break down in this case. So let's bring on retired Detective Commander of Chicago PD, Will Spielar. Will, thank you so much for joining me. I want to get your take on the case overall. A woman who initially went missing is discovered dead in a shallow grave, and authorities believe her ex-boyfriend is responsible. What's your reaction, and how often in your experience have you seen a case like this?
Far too many times in my experience. This is looks like an example of a domestic violence situation that continued to get.
Yep, and I say it too. Like it's unfortunate, man. I don't know what these females see in these type of men, but once I see red flags, yo, I don't think I'm in an adventure at Six Flags, yo. Like I notice how their behavior is, how they carry themselves. I'm good. Like a lot of these men, unfortunately, are like this out here in the hood. The majority of them are in the hood. The ones that don't want to change, that want to keep being like this, that think they always gangster, got to deal with a situation always with a gun. Like, this is crazy.
More and more physical, more and more violent. It escalated to the point where he killed her. Now, obviously, it took the authorities a little bit of time to build a case to make a warrant for murder on this person, but you just see it all too often. It's just an escalating domestic violence situation that ends in, unfortunately, murder.
And what the suspect is accused of doing is truly horrible, bludgeoning her to death. In your opinion, what do you think happened in those final moments?
Like I said, this is an escalating, the violence was escalating, I guarantee it. And at one point in this last exchange, he went one step too far. One blow too many. And at that point now he panics and he goes into survival mode.
And does anything stand out to you that you believe that this was planned, or do you think the suspect just snapped in that moment?
Well, my understanding on this is she was riding with a friend in a car. He confronted both of them, threw the friend out of the car, and then took off in the car with her. That's a heat of the moment thing. There's a little bit of planning, but when you talk about how he disposed of the remains, it wasn't carefully thought out.
And is it significant to you at all that he allegedly chose to bury the victim in a shallow grave? Do you think he didn't do it to find her, or you think he did it so that way authorities wouldn't find her body, or do you think he buried her for another reason?
I think he tried to buy himself some time. Obviously, he didn't have tools to bury her, I don't want to say properly, because it's certainly not proper. But I think he just did it to buy himself some time. To create as much distance between himself and the scene of the crime as he could.
I want to give a big thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's.
I feel as though like he knew what he was doing. He had it planned. I think this was a case of obsession, jealousy. Like she can't be with me. She can't be around nobody else. I don't know much about his background except for what they just said here, but it seems like this could be a case of jealousy and obsession. Seen a lot of those around here, and unfortunately we've had to bury a lot of loved ones. Now I don't know about y'all, but around here, due to jealousy and obsession from a man or a woman. And it's crazy because it does get like this, and people be so confused, like what happened, where did it go wrong, da 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 da. Like sometimes I guess sometimes some people fall out of love, or I don't know why, but for something to go into some jealousy shit, I don't know what creates that. Or could it be insecurities within a man or a woman, right? I think it's mostly that. But when somebody doesn't give you reason, right, to be jealous, still insecurities, but what else? What could draw somebody to be that jealous to kill somebody? Or obsessed? Or the jealousy turn into obsession? You see where I'm coming from? Like, that's something that I still can't understand, because it's kind of like, for me, if it's not working, I'm leaving. But some people can't do that.
And guess what? You only pay Morgan & Morgan if you win. So if you're injured, visit
I could be wrong though about what I'm
yourpeople.com/YouTube
thinking though.
description and pin.
Shit, y'all can get, y'all can let a shorty know what y'all think down there, but down below. Do y'all think this is jealousy? Do y'all think it's something else? What made this man kill this woman? He's saying it was a heat out of the heat of the moment type thing. I don't know. I feel like it could have been planned the way everything happened. Because I've seen a lot of men react on jealousy for some reason. A lot of men obsessed. That's why I'm saying it like that. I don't know. Shit, just not so long ago, a young boy got shot over here because he was dealing with somebody's girl. No, yeah, some shit like that. It had to do. Listen, the reason he died was over a shorty. That's the crazy part.
In the comments to start your claim
I
today.
can't really remember,
The
but
suspect, Giovanni Otero, is now known as the most wanted man in Philadelphia. Do you think him fleeing is an obvious admission of guilt?
Yes, I think combination of him fleeing, he cut off ties with his parole officer. Yes, I mean yes, it's absolutely an admission of guilt in my opinion.
And talk to me a little bit about searching for a man who's been on the run now for more than a month. And where does the search go now for him from here?
So I don't know what his background is. I don't know what his ethnicity is. I don't know if he's of Mexican descent or if he's from Puerto Rican descent. I don't know. But you've got to think that he's heading somewhere else, obviously. Out of the city. But to do that, he's going to need some help. Someone's got to be helping him. I don't know what kind of money he has. He has to have access to funds, to shelter, to food. Somebody's helping him.
Yeah, if y'all can't find him, somebody is.
And if you're, on the run, how important is cell phone data, possibly even social media going to be in order to help track him down?
It's huge. I mean, cell phone data, all the stuff you refer to.
Yeah, that's huge. But if he doesn't have social media, it's curtains, right? I mean, I know a lot of men out here that don't use social media at all. And if they know about social media or see stuff on social media, it's because they're using somebody else's phone. So if he don't have social media, it's going to be it. And if he's got somebody else helping him, that's why they're having a hard time. Rachel.
Talk about this all the time with the modern things that we have to do to track cell phones, towers, etc. It's huge. We use it all the time.
So use it.
And we also use these video cameras. There's video cameras everywhere.
He probably switched phones.
So the technology that's available now it's huge. And I assure you that the Philadelphia Police Department, the Marshall Service are using all of their tools, all their social media teams, and their telephone teams to try to find this guy.
And since we're living in such a digital age, I think a lot of people, when these types of things happen, I think their first question is always, why is it taking so long? If we do have, CCTV footage and surveillance video, possibly ring camera footage, cell phone data, why, in your opinion, do people always go to, why does it take so long? And talk to me about the level of this type of investigation when you are piecing together so many different types of clues and getting different evidence, either it being that cell phone data or video evidence or even talking to witnesses. But why do you think people always are confused as far as how long it takes to find someone when we have all this digital evidence in our disposal now?
Well, because on television programs, you got about 47 minutes, not including commercials or including commercials, to identify somebody, find them, and lock them up. And people get used to seeing stuff like that. They think it happens that fast. It just doesn't. It's a big world, and there's a lot of places that this guy could be going to. Also, if he has help, he doesn't really even have to show his face. If someone's bringing him stuff, trying to get him to move or hunkering down somewhere, it's really difficult sometimes. He's gonna have to stick his head out. He's gonna have to use one of those digital fingerprints that you're speaking of. And if he's not using them, it could take a while.
Yep, that's what I just
Does
said.
any part of you believe that he might possibly still even be in Philadelphia or the surrounding areas?
It'll be crazy if he is.
He could. He absolutely could. But like I said, if he's doing that, he's got some help. I think, well, you got to remember.
It'll be crazy if he is in
about 30
Philly.
days before they made the announcement that he's wanted for murder. Now, they did the parole violation warrant immediately, which is outstanding. We do it all the time. That lets other law enforcement entities know that, listen, if I stop a car with somebody in it, I don't know who's in it. I don't know what that person did. That person inside the car knows what they did. And this is a tool for officers to generally have an idea that, yep, this guy's wanted. And you could hold him on this parole warrant until they build their case and they execute the murder warrant, which they did.
And this is also a man who reportedly has been committing crimes since he was 12 years old. Because of that, how difficult could it be to find him? Or do you think in a way that could make things a lot easier?
Oh, I think the fact that he's covered in tattoos from head to toe makes it difficult for him to get lost. The lifestyle, the criminal lifestyle, it's like I said, it's all about self-preservation at that point. They learned it in joint. They learned it on the streets. I think that it makes him harder to track because he has a general idea of how the system works and how the police are going to come looking for him. But also his criminal background is going to hinder him. He's not going to be able to move freely in society with all that paper on him.
And the U.S. Marshals, they're offering a $5,000 reward. Do you think the reward is going to help in his capture?
I mean, if it's a really good friend or family member, 5,000 is not going to make you turn them in. I mean, money's nice, but if you're getting help from a family member,
I mean, that's if people believe that they're gonna get a $5,000 reward. I doubt that. I mean, has anybody ever won a reward from the police department for turning somebody in? I don't know, but a lot of people don't believe in snitching. I've never really seen somebody turn somebody in and get a reward. Has anybody? Does that even work? I mean, listen. Somebody's hiding him. He must be well known by some people, I guess, because for y'all not to find him, and like I said, it must be that he's one of those guys that don't have social media. And there's a lot of men out here, a lot of women that do not have social media at all. No Facebook, no YouTube, no Instagram, none of that. So, I mean, it's possible. It's possible that he's somebody that has no social media and could be, seeing everything that's happening through somebody else's social media.
or from a friend, they're not thinking about that money. What they should be thinking about, and eventually it does happen, is how heinous the crime was. And how much do you really want to be involved?
But shit, he better be careful because there could be somebody out there. If you still in Philly, man, for them $5,000, what people wouldn't do. Sure, I'm telling you, shit.
With helping the person that is capable of committing that type of crime. Because if he did it to someone he loved, like his girlfriend, he's going to do it to anyone.
Yep.
Yeah. And do you think that, because he's on the run, possibly, if there's that sense that authorities are closing in on him, do you think that things could possibly end in a terrible way, that he could go out and commit another crime? He could go out and hurt somebody else. Do you think that's all a possibility, especially as authorities are potentially and hopefully one day will close in on him?
There's no question they're going to get him. It's just a matter of where and when. And as the noose tightens, you're going to see some sort of out. He's going to commit crimes. Maybe he's going to carjack someone when he's trying to get away. The thing I found
is he's definitely going to make a mistake, because from what I've heard from the beginning of this story, he has a temper. He's been in and out of jail, since he was young. It seems like he's cold. He don't care. He has no remorse. So, officer on point. Detective, whatever he
not
is.
that there's any problem getting a gun on the street is, and I don't want to say encouraging, it was a terrible way to phrase that, but he didn't use a weapon, as far as we know, as far as a firearm, when he committed the murder. So could he get a gun? Absolutely, he can get a gun anywhere. But at the time of the crime, it sounds like he did not have a firearm. So is there going to be a shootout at the end of this? It could be.
And how serious of charges could
This officer act
anybody
like he
who has
know
helped
that. Like,
him
yeah, he ain't
in
gonna hurt
this
me.
escape in a way
What?
be for them if they, once the suspect is eventually apprehended? I mean, even if it's somebody turning over a cell phone to him or something, as far as, like you had mentioned before, getting him food or even sheltering him, how serious of charges?
You know what's crazy? How he seems so certain they're going to catch this guy, right? Using cameras and technology, right? But for the other case that we just viewed, right, and reacted to, they said, oh, it's not that possible. It's not that easy. People think because we got this technology or we got that technology, we could just find anybody. But with this detective, he feels so certain that using the technology that they have now, they're going to catch him. Why is it that two detectives from the police department, right, think differently? One says, yes, we could do it by, using the surveillance cameras and all that. The other one says, no, we can't do it. It's not possible. People think it's that easy, but it's not. See, that's why I say, yo, a lot of these police officers, yo, they give themselves up, man. You listen close enough, you'll see that the things that we're saying is possible. They give themselves up. They think that we stupid. Like, come on, man. There's so many unsolved murders. Y'all could pull out all them. And yo, I'm telling y'all, and solve a cold case or solve something that just recently happened, especially if y'all on it for a couple of weeks, like y'all say y'all been on.
Could they also face if authorities do learn that he did have help on the outside?
So they're felonies. They're felony charges for aiding and abetting. You're going to have to establish the fact that the person who's helping them knows that they were wanted and he was helping him escape or giving aid to someone helping. Listen, it's all over the news. It's all over the Marshall Service. You'd be hard pressed to say, well, I didn't know what he was doing there. I was just trying to give him a hand. But they're felonies.
You going down if you was
they will be prosecuted.
Yep, I was just about to say that.
And say he is found potentially across state lines, across the country, or even in another country. Is there that possibility that he could also face federal charges too?
We get the Federal Marshal Service looking for him. There's a warrant out for his arrest that's good anywhere in the United States. Some warrants are good in Mexico. The federal, I don't know what the federal jurisdiction is on this. Crossing state lines doesn't necessarily make it federal unless you're doing the crime or you're taking someone across state lines.
They've been working on this case for a while already, I see, and they still haven't found the bull. Like, where in the world? Like, yo, whoever is hiding this guy is going down. Or the people that is holding this guy, helping this guy is going down, man. Listen, man, if you committed a crime, don't come knocking at my door. I'm giving you a warning right now. I ain't going down for whatever you did. Let me go collect that reward.
We do it all the time. Extraditions. Somebody gets locked up in Florida, we extradite them back to Illinois. So I don't know where the federal charges would come into this, but the murder warrant is good anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the victim and the victim's family is pleading for him to be found. What's it like talking to victims, family members who just want a form of justice?
It's gut-wrenching. It's very difficult. And again, like you said, time when you're in that situation as a family member, a day is a year. If your family member's gone that long or you're trying to find someone who did something like this, a day is a year for them. It's an eternity. And everybody, like you said, everybody wants this to be taken care of quickly, especially the family members. And it's very difficult. They've already lost the person. Now, what are you going to do? What can you do to bring? I hate the word closure because I don't even know what that means. But how do you give them a sense of justice? How do you give them some relief so they can try to heal? And what we do as homicide investigators is we try to bring the offender to justice for them so they can move on and heal. It's very difficult to talk to people. You have to have empathy. You have to listen to people.
Yeah, I agree with him.
But it's very difficult, but it's hugely important.
Damn, my condolences go out to her family, man. I hope they find the dude, arrest his ass. Shit is crazy, yo. Hopefully, justice is served for her, yo. And may she have peace in paradise. Let's go on to the next current news. Everything is law and crime. Huh? So we got an American YouTuber kidnapped and killed in the Philippines. Oh shit. What in the world is going on?
Hard to get used to Filipino lifestyle. It's crazy.
An American vlogger who decided to document his move to the Philippines reportedly was kidnapped in one of the country's most dangerous regions, and now, according to authorities, he is believed to be dead. We're digging into how an honest attempt to make it in a new place turned into a tragedy. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. Jesse Weber.
Yo, I don't know if this is one of the cases where people, stop working and stop doing what they're doing and they decide to travel to become YouTubers. Man, that makes me nervous. Listen, I want to travel, right? But shit, to be known, to get kidnapped. Listen, this is why I don't want to be famous. That's why I don't listen. Even if I make it, far here on YouTube, man, that's why I think I need to stay small. Fuck all that shit. Look what they go through. Everybody that becomes, viral, famous, go through some shit. Like, man, I'm good right where I'm at. Let me stay a little channel. Fuck. This is crazy. Yo, celebrities don't want to be celebrities no more. It just shows you, man. That's why I say, man, social media gonna be the death of many, yo. But I don't think he was doing anything bad. Like, that's the crazy, messed up part about it. Like, let's see what happened. Because I don't think he was doing anything bad from what I've heard. Because I think he was doing something right, positive. Moved to Iran, means 5 months ago. He married a local woman and opened a small business. That's why. See, he married somebody. He dropped everything from where he was at because he married somebody. He didn't become a YouTuber. He was already a YouTuber. All right. But national police believe Eastman was targeted by armed criminals who killed him during an attempted kidnapping. Oh, wow.
Elliot Eastman, a 26-year-old man from Vermont, was likely killed by kidnappers when he was abducted from his home in the southern part of the Philippines back in October. That was the announcement from the Philippine National Police after weeks of searching for this missing expat. Now, Eastman had been living in the Philippines since May. He had married a local woman named Carisha, and it appears, based on his live streams, that he had opened a small grocery business at his home in the coastal town of Cebu.
He was bettering himself.
Now, Eastman documented his new life in these live streams and videos on YouTube and Facebook, sometimes including Carisha. And in the description for one of those videos, he wrote that he was the first and only foreigner to have ever lived in Cebuco for an extended period of time.
Oh, wow.
And here's the thing. As time passed on, Eastman he seemed to get a little bit more wary of his surroundings and often mentioned kidnappings as a potential danger.
And if it comes to the point where it's like, all of a sudden I'm kidnapped and something's going to happen to me, I'm going to ask myself, I don't know.
Now, Carisha's family apparently lived in that same area. And back in August, based on what was said on the live streams, there was reportedly some drama involving Carisha's sister and her apparent decision to actually take down one of the pieces of plywood that it made up a wall of their home and store, which, as you can imagine, what happened, it led to money being stolen from the store. And during one of his live streams, Eastman talked about this theft with someone who wasn't identified, but sounded like they could be someone who lived in the neighborhood.
We got robbed last night. What? Yeah, our store. I think maybe somebody climbed through here because we left our money here from our store. So I think either somebody came through here or they came to the door.
And he needed a safe. So he live in one of them countries where it's full of gangs and criminals and stuff like that in the Philippines. You see, listen, man, I might change scenes. I might move from the hood, but I'm not leaving America for real. I will visit other countries. I mean, but listen to what they like. Damn.
I don't really know, but we were missing like 300 last night. Yeah. Yeah.
As you just heard, he tells this person that 300 pesos were stolen. That's not a lot in U.S. currency. It's only about, what, $5? But it is significant in an impoverished country like that. And a question that has to be asked with what we're talking about right now.
So with $5 from the U.S., we get 300 pesos from over there, which makes us, not poor. Oh, okay. So our money is worth something in the Philippines.
Was Eastman careful when it came to protecting his money or staying quiet about how much he might have at any given time? Now, as part of his live streams, Eastman often answered questions from people in the chat. And when one person mentioned wanting to move to the Philippines and also start a business, Eastman says if he could do it all over again, he might have done it differently.
Being here, and especially this is a new culture and everything, there's so many things that I'm running into the way with, like the bathroom smells like so bad. Like nobody smells like so bad. Right? So that's one thing. The other thing, the roof is leaking, getting all over my investment, getting all my things wet. The other day, my inverter just broke. That cost $100. So that's broken now. And then last night, somebody stole all our money from our store. And now these waves are huge coming in. Like
he went to
these
better
waves
himself
get
in
super
another
huge.
country.
Maybe they're gonna come up here and splash up on this Wi-Fi.
Wow.
We don't really know. But I don't know, dude.
And a month later, in September, Eastman admitted that he wasn't feeling very comfortable in the area.
I feel like I've been staying in this area for so long to the point where people, I don't even know if people like me anymore. Maybe they want bad things to happen to me now. It's like, that's how I'm starting to think. So it's like, it's really not good. I don't really know, like, what would happen if somebody did come try to come here and kidnap me, right? Would the neighbors help me, or would they just sit there and watch? Because it's gotten to the point where I've been here for so long that people are like have become normalized for me in this area, and especially the family I'm living with, and I just don't know. Like, I get mixed feelings, So it's kind of like I'm at that point.
He was scared of being there, but he wanted to be with the woman he married. So listen, I heard him. He said he got mixed emotions. I would too. It's like, damn, I want to be with you. This video was look, he made this video at Elliot Eastman on YouTube, September 27, 2024. This was back in September. And he passed away in October. So he felt like something was going to happen to him. So I guess he was warning Americans about, I guess starting a business where he was at and stuff like that. And listen, I don't know, but this is what I'm just, coming up with, listening to what he's been saying and what they're saying. Like, let me see the comments real quick. I am Filipino and I will never set foot in this area. There are places in the southern Philippines that is not safe, even for locals. Rest in peace. Oh, wow. So he was trying to warn people. The locals warned him to stay away from that area. He ignored them. Tragic outcome. Damn, he didn't take heed to the warning. He had died and the kidnappers put his body in the water. Hey, before I go any further, by what we're selling, OMG, that timing was so off and disrespectful. That's a shame. So y'all got to be careful if you're an American and you step foot thinking that you're going to start over in another country. And if you're getting warnings from people in that country, man, y'all need to take heed.
Well, that's how I feel. So it's not good.
You know what makes that so eerie? It was just a few weeks after that, on October 17th, that Eastman went live for the last time on his YouTube page. And if you look at the video, he looks, in my opinion, very uneasy. He sits in silence for more than 5 minutes at the beginning of the stream, just sitting in a darkened room, eating fruit, spitting out the seeds. And eventually, someone from Australia starts watching and messages Eastman through the chat. And when that person asks for his thoughts on the Philippines, Eastman hesitates, but says there's some parts he likes, other parts he doesn't.
I'm just getting tired of being around all the same people.
Eastman logged off after about 20 minutes. And the very next night, according to what national police told the New York Times, Eastman's father-in-law told police that 4 men wearing black clothing, face coverings, They forced their way into Eastman's house. And it has been reported that the men may have been trying to disguise themselves as police officers. According to this father-in-law, Eastman resisted. He tried to run away, but he was shot in the leg with a rifle. The men then allegedly dragged him to a white boat and headed out to sea, and he hasn't been seen since. During their investigation, the National Police told the New York Times that they spoke to a relative of one of the suspects who revealed that actually Eastman had been shot twice, once in the leg, once in the torso. When the alleged kidnappers got to the boat, they realized Eastman had died. So this witness apparently told police that they put his body in the water. Hey, by the way, before we go any further, I have to thank Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's Law and Crime YouTube takeover. Philadelphia, 6 points, so easy. It takes 8 clicks or less. Never been found. Police say it's difficult to prove whether what the witness is saying is true or not. There had been hope that perhaps Eastman was, being held somewhere, maybe for ransom. The FBI has even reportedly joined the search for him. This is according to outlets like The Sun.
Whoa, they
Then
know.
a few weeks after the abduction, police got into a shootout with multiple suspects. Authorities say 3 suspects were killed. Eventually, one suspect has been taken into custody. That's based on reporting. And this person reportedly corroborated what that witness had told police, saying that one of the men dumped Eastman overboard. A lieutenant colonel with the National Police told the Associated Press, "We are constrained to believe that he has died. All of the information that we have points to that." And according to the Daily Mail, a former...
Y'all can't believe that he died. Well, I guess they didn't find his body yet. So they haven't found his body. They're just going by what they've been told by witnesses, that they shot him twice and threw him in the water. So his body, I guess, allegedly, apparently isn't been found yet.
Mayor of the region told reporters that the kidnappers may have targeted Eastman because they believed him to be a rich American with lots of money. They may have also resented a foreigner living with a local Muslim woman, meaning his wife. And by the way, the suspect who's in custody apparently gave a sworn statement. It was handed over to prosecutors. And the police say Eastman's family back in the United States, they were notified of the 26-year-old's likely death by the U.S. Embassy. I want to talk about this more, and I want to bring on Tom Smith, retired NYPD detective. Tom, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. What do you make of local police making a public statement like this, that this young man is feared dead, and to make that announcement without the body is pretty significant, no?
It is, but when you have so much evidence and witness statements, and maybe one of the kidnappers that was involved in this giving us a sworn statement as well.
Damn, one of the kidnappers involved gave a sworn statement. That's crazy. But I have just one question. Why didn't he try to convince his wife to move with him to America? Like, if he knew how dangerous it was and everything, like, they married already, why not take her to America? I mean, I know he wanted to do a new start. He wanted to stay there because he loved her. But knowing how dangerous it was, even for the local people, I mean, I'm not a man, but if I was him, I would have just like, hey, babe, like, let's move over here. And if she didn't want to move to America, somewhere else where, it wasn't so much violence. He felt it. He was trying to warn people, but he ain't make it.
You come to a logical conclusion of his death, and you owe it to the family of this young man to give them the information of his possible death. And it's sad and it's tragic, especially living overseas. You run the risk of resentment, like you said, with his wife and other things. No matter what your status is in the United States, when you're in a foreign country, especially one like this, you're perceived as rich, no matter what your status is in the United States. And I think they fed off that. And what that was.
So you could be poor in the United States, move over there, and to them, you're rich.
Motive of this kidnapping.
As I mentioned, based on the reporting from The Sun, for example,
be careful
they're saying
when you go to
FBI
countries
agents
like
went there
that,
now to investigate. What role does the FBI play in this?
Well, they can lead that investigation because it's a U.S. citizen. And we have the responsibility, or the FBI has the responsibility of taking care of U.S. citizens, even on foreign soil. So they can run the investigation through the U.S. Embassy in that area.
Can they take any sort of action
Sure. Oh, yeah. You can develop a case. It would probably be on the West Coast. Maybe the LA office might be running that in conjunction with U.S. Embassy. And whatever that United States Attorney's Office is in that area could open an investigation on this, especially that you have one person in custody. If you can really prove that that individual was part of this kidnapping, he can certainly be charged in the United States.
Can U.S. resources be used to potentially find Eastman's body? For example, if this story is true, and we hope that it's not, but if it's true and he was dumped in the water, can the Philippines accept U.S. resources, dive teams, things of that nature?
Yeah, they could, but you're talking about the South Pacific, and a number of months ago, the chances of finding him in that area are really, really very slim.
If this is true, if the attack and kidnapping went down like the way that I described, based on this reporting, what does it tell you about the suspects, the players, their training? Because the New York Post has come out and said that the suspects appeared to be common criminals who didn't belong to any Muslim rebel groups, which have been accused of ransom kidnappings in the past. So it makes me wonder, what is the level of experience, training to do something like this?
Yeah, when you're in such a lawless area like that, and the crime is extremely high, as is being reported, Abu Sayyaf is a major terrorist organization in that area. They may not have been directly involved, but could they train other people to do certain things and then take a cut of criminal activity? Sure, that could happen.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I was him, I know I'm a woman and I'm not trying to portray to be a man. What I'm saying is, if I was him, I would have tried to convince my wife to leave with me anywhere else but there. Anywhere where there's no violence like that. Man, my condolences go out to his wife, his family, especially his family, yo. Like, he was just trying to do, live better. Be with somebody that he cared with. And he ended up in a tragic death. I'm gonna leave it right there. This is on Sidebar, Law and Crime. If y'all wish to go check the rest of the video out, it's a 16-minute video, right? But we're gonna move on to the next one, right? And we're gonna this is gonna be the last current news right here, right? And then we're gonna move on to YouTube's disgusting. What is it? My bad. YouTube's disgusting terminated channels. All right. So I appreciate everybody that's in here. If y'all enjoying the stream, please smash that like button for a shorty. If y'all don't like the stream, the dislike button is right there. What a shorty would like and appreciate from everybody is if y'all share the video, right, and help a shorty bring awareness to whatever topics are being spoke on and much more. I appreciate y'all. But let's move on to the next topic.
Hannah was speeding.
And we got another long crime. Party house parents charged in teens drunk driving death. Oh, wow. Yo, this is an issue that we be telling a lot of parents out here in our community, right? Like, listen, man, stop drinking, stop partying with your kids. Like, I don't understand. Once you reach a certain age, right? I don't understand. Like, I don't know if people forget to grow up or they don't know how to grow up. But once you've got kids, it's not for you to be out here acting like your kids. Being like you're your kid's friend. See, like a lot of people take that term very, very loose lately, very wrong. I don't even think they understand the meaning of being a friend to your kid. You're supposed to be a parent first, right? And like everybody else around here, a lot of us need a shoulder to lean on, right? Our kids need somebody to listen to. So that's where you're your kid's friend at. You give them advice and stuff like that. Friend is not somebody that parties with their kids every day. No, you're their parent. But you can be that leaning shoulder that they need sometimes, right? Where they go looking for in a friend sometimes and get that messed up advice. You could be that friend, give them advice, guide them. But parents nowadays, yo, man, and they say it's all the kids' fault. I blame both. I blame first the parents, then I blame the kids, because after a certain age, it's like from right and wrong. Unless you got mental health issues, man. After a certain time, I blame both. The parent for being, I don't know what, because neglectful, for trying to be a kid's best friend when they should be a parent first, trying to be young when them days is over. Like, It's a point in time in life where you grow up. And if you have kids, man, your responsibility, they're your responsibility. And how can I say this, right? Once you have kids, right, it's not just about you no more. Now you have a whole responsibility in your hands. Somebody that you have to take care of, somebody you have to be, care for, somebody that you have to educate, somebody you have to, can't be a kid no more. But a lot of these parents are being parents. And and they say that it's because they're so young having kids. But you know what's crazy? I've seen 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, right, have kids. How can I say, carry themselves better than a lot of these grown parents out here. Hey, y'all might get mad for what I just said, but it's facts. I've seen 17 and 18-year-old girls out here pregnant, act more responsible and behave more responsible than a lot of these parents out here do.
More than 60 miles per hour over the limit, hitting 98 just 1 second. Hannah was speeding more than 60 miles per hour over the limit, hitting 98 just 1 second before the crash. The car's computer also revealed she never tapped the brakes.
A teenage girl's parents face charges in a drunk driving crash that killed her friend.
Ooh, we got the passer in the house, yo. We got double speak telecast in the building, y'all. Make sure y'all go check out double speak telecast, yo. Great conversations, great topics, morning motivations, yo. You will not be disappointed, y'all. Good morning, blessings. Passer is about to be afternoon here in Philly, yo. It's about to be 12 a.m. and it's 52 degrees. Oh, it's better outside. I'm about to, when I end this live, go out there, get a little bit of fresh air. It's 52 degrees. Hell yeah.
Friend.
There is no greater responsibility in life than for a parent and a child and to keep them safe.
I have the details on why the parents are in legal hot water and the sad case of Sophie Leshkavelli out of Georgia. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy.
So before we continue with the video, let me ask y'all a question, right? The same way that we got kids out here that are ignorant and, irresponsible, what do y'all think should happen to the parents that are irresponsible and neglectful with their kids? Because as a parent, right, I feel as though that parents, right, and this is my opinion, I'm not judging, I'm not bringing nobody down, but there are a lot of parents out here that don't behave their age, don't behave like parents. They behave like they're the children and the kids are the adults, the parents, right? But this is a case where the parent is behaving like a child, trying to be, I guess, the kid's friend, best friend. I don't know, right? We're going to find out. And I appreciate all those that send me videos for me to review and react, right? Like, I really appreciate those, all of y'all out there that do that. Like, watching these videos make me sit here and be like, damn, man. That's why the last two lives, y'all seen the thumbnail. I think I'm going to do another thumbnail, right? And it's going to be, let's talk about it. Let's talk reality. Let's talk about reality. Because this is reality, right? Now, no, OMG. If y'all would listen to these kids and see what they think that the adults think is reality, y'all would see why half of these kids is like, the leadership in their home. So shout out to these parents that are, guiding these parents into the right direction. But unfortunately, we got parents out here that think that smoking, getting high with their kids is the thing. Sitting here and listening to rap music all day is the thing. Letting, being in a corner with their kids or being around, the trap all day is something that their kids should be following or looking at. Like, shout out to those parents out there that, have broken the chains, have broken the cycle, and have been who they're really truly meant to be. And even though we got good parents out there, right? Once again, like I said in the beginning of this live, we got so many kids lashing out due to the influence that's outside of the home, because there could be a lot of positive and great influence inside of the home, right? But the people that are surrounding you, are they supportive? Are they influencing your child? Do they care for you and your child? You see where I'm coming from? As much as they say they do. Because what's crazy is lately the topic is, right, even in our communities, it's crazy how a lot of people are saying, damn, I wouldn't have thought about that. I would have thought that my, that's family, that's a friend, that, instead of stabbing me in the back, they would help me, but they're kicking me while I'm down and I need help with my kids. But they're doing this and they're doing that. Now my kids are being rebellious, or, it's crazy, right? When it comes from somebody you care about. And if y'all missed the lives from yesterday, the day before, make sure y'all go check them out so that y'all can understand what I'm saying, because this is really a part 3 of that. But I just decided to say, hey, let's talk about it. Open panels for anybody that wishes to come up and chat and talk about, what's currently happening in our communities with our kids, with, politics and much more. Y'all more than welcome, before I end these lives, to come up and chat with a shorty. A shorty will pause the reviews and reactions just for us to have a positive conversation. And I appreciate all those that have come on panel, spoke to a shorty, have brought awareness to a lot of topics, have spoke their stories, right? Spoke their stories and brought awareness to more than just one situation. And like I tell people, I bring on the touchy topics. I bring on the touchy subjects that people don't really want to bring on because I feel as though they need to be talked about. So what I do is I mix it up so that way that we can talk about it. It's like, listen, everything goes hand in hand. I'm not just going to stick it to one topic, because if you really look at it, look around us. What's happening? Do the majority of us even know what's going on around us? Come on, man. It's like, I don't get tired of saying it. You could say, oh, the pedophiles are all in the registry. No, they're not. Because unless they're found guilty, they're not on that registry. So you still have to be cautious with the next fucker you put, bring into your house or lay next to your pillow. Real shit. There's so much going on around us. Do you know what's going on? It's not all about just beef and drama. Guys, like, come on, man. Like, what's crazy is when people watch movies and they listen to this music, but they don't read in between the lines when it comes to that. Man. Blessings word. Yo, man, make sure y'all go check out the word 9%. What up, man? Make sure y'all go check out the word. And if y'all want some positive motivation, in the mornings, make sure y'all go check out Double Speak Telecast. The pastor be, listen. He's the only one that I know in here that can bring some humor into a lot of shit. Make sure y'all go check him out. Check out the word. Like I said, word is somebody that's putting in that footwork outside, right? He's putting that footwork into these streets. He's got this program that he's trying to bring out, right? Trying to be like a big brother. It's a mentor program. We've been talking about this for the past couple of days, right? Single mothers that need help and are trying to find resources, right? They need support for their kids, right? What's crazy is, right, I have to throw in the single fathers, right? Because we've had conversations with single fathers that are having kids that are being rebellious right now. Once again, not all single parents out here that have kids that are being rebellious and are acting out and are lashing out are bad parents. They're actually trying to do something to help their kids, but they're to the point where their kids are tying up their hands. So once again, the word has a program out there. Is like a mentorship program for single mothers out there. I would have, I got to kidnap the word. He's got to come on my panel. I got to, kind of like interview him about the program so people could understand. Like, because I could speak on it 1,000 and a million times, but, I want people to get a better understanding, not just my perspective or my point of view, but actually from the, the head honcho himself. So one of these days I'm gonna have to kidnap him when he's got the chance, whether it's 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But one of these days we're gonna do it so that he's from Detroit. I'm from North Philadelphia. But the things that I'm trying to do, I feel as though that his type of programs I'm gonna need for my community center. So I wouldn't mind even linking up with him, my baby pops with me, linking up with him and his wifey so that, we could do something. But I'm missing one little piece of paper before I make that next step and that next move. So listen, man, check out the word. You will not be disappointed. But let's continue, right? Let's watch the story. Once again, party house parents charged in teens drunk driving death. So let's see what this is about. I don't want to jump out the window, but like I said, a lot of these parents need to stop partying around and stop thinking that they're their kids' friends and start being parents, start parenting, start disciplining None of us as parents was born with had a manual given to us. You see where I'm coming from? I know they got parenting classes, but we wasn't given a manual, right? Do they got, books for dummies for parenting? Yes, they do. That's up to you if you want to go, read it. They got them out there. But in reality, right, before all this stuff came out, nobody was given a manual. And nobody is given a manual at the hospital. You see where I'm coming from? So at the end of the day, like I tell people, our kids are really the teachers and we're the students. Because as every day passed by, we learn. You see where I'm coming from? We learn how, what our kids like, what our kids don't like, their favorite colors, much more. We learn how to be, parents. We learn what not to do, what we can do. You see where I'm coming from? Every day we've learned something different when it comes to our kids or when it comes to parenting. Every single day. And every single day that these kids got questions and we have to answer them, we learn something new each day. Some of us have to come out here and do a little deeper research on what we already knew, because it turns out that, what we was taught back then isn't really what it is. So once again, right, we have to talk and, teach our kids, but we also have to educate our kids. And in the process, we have to discipline our kids. And that's something that we've been talking about lately with the way the bills and the laws are. Every adult in our kids' lives, their hands are really tied, because it's kind of like they got it to the way where our kids can run us. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher. It doesn't matter if you're a parent, a guardian, or what it is. When you're dealing with kids, the way the laws and the rights bills are set, whatever Biden and Harris did, during the administration, messed it up for a lot of parents. The kids are not the ones that should be running households or these programs or these communities. If anything, right? In reality, in reality, the parents should be running these kids, should be able to discipline their kids. I'm not saying abuse your kid. But now when you raise your voice at a kid, is considered abuse. And I'm looking at this like, how? How is that? If a child does wrong, a child needs to get disciplined. We're not going to keep reporting our kids. We're creating entitled adults. That's what we're doing. We're raising entitled children and creating entitled adults. They make a mistake in the street. They beat up an elderly. Oh, you got to reward them for that. They go out there and they steal from the store. You got to reward them for that. Is that what I'm hearing everybody say now? Shit. I top it off with the parents that think they're kids and they forgot they gave birth to these kids. You sitting out, man. I got to find the right words before I continue, man, because YouTube will censor the shit out of a shorty. It wouldn't be my first time for really letting my thoughts out there and YouTube saying, you went overboard with what you said. So you know what? Let's play the video.
Last February, Sophie Leshkiavelli was having fun with her friends when the DA in DeKalb County, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, said one of those friends drove drunk and killed her. 18-year-old Hannah Hackmeyer was behind the wheel. The DA says Hackmeyer was drunk when she lost control of the car, causing it to flip. The crash killed Sophie, who was in the passenger seat. The DeKalb County DA's office held a press conference laying out all of the details, beginning when DeKalb County police arrived to the scene around 12:11 a.m.
They found a blue Mazda CX-5 flipped over upside down in the roadway. The driver, Hannah Hackmeyer, and her backseat passenger, Anana Rao, were able to crawl out of the vehicle. But Sophia Leshkiavelli was trapped in the front passenger seat. First responders extracted Sophia from the car and rushed her to the hospital, where she later died from her injuries.
Damn.
Data recovered from the car's airbag control module showed that Hannah was speeding more than 60 miles per hour over the limit, hitting 98 just 1 second before the crash. The car's computer also revealed she never tapped the brakes. Using both a portable breath test and a blood test, investigators determined Hannah Hackmeyer was under the influence of alcohol at the time of the crash, with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.046, more than twice the legal limit for someone under the age of 20.
And this is what I'm saying. As a parent, knowing that my child is drunk, I will not let my child behind the wheel. I would take the keys. I don't care. You want to act a fool, you want to act crazy, and to the point where either somebody has to call the cops or you're tying my hands to call the cops, then you're going to have to spend that night in jail. You want to be grown? You want to know what it's like to be grown? Yes, that's a shorty's mentality. I'm seeing it because listen, these kids are getting out of pocket. And I don't just blame the kids, I also blame the parents, right? But what's crazy is, right, you got a lot of parents out here that are doing a good job. But here's the thing, right? Even though we're doing a good job, a lot of us parents, right, that are doing good, giving our kids good influence and everything, we at a point in time also spoil our kids. Right. I mean, and I'm saying this because these are the conversations we're having lately. Right. And I'm hearing all the parents out. I'm listening to each and every single one of them. And what's crazy is we all make mistakes. Our kids make mistakes. Right. But if you notice, right, that your child is in this corner, you got to constantly be there. Even if your child gets mad, grip them up, get them out the corner. Like, you can't say no to Godfather. Godfather comes to the corner and pulls your kid by the ear. You can't get mad at them. You can't get mad at the father of the father, and I'm saying this as a mother, and it's vice versa for the father. You see where I'm coming from? Like, we have to get harder and harder on these kids. It's to the point where I'm saying, fuck these laws, fuck these rights that they've put down. I don't know what the fuck Biden, and you know what, Rach, calm down, because now you're going political with it. Relax. I don't know what in the world Biden and Harris was thinking about when they passed these things, because they really tied up a lot of parents' hands. I'm telling you, you cannot sit here and say, to your child when your child is talking back, just shut up, be quiet. I don't want to hear it right now. You see, like, you can't even snap like that. You can't even get out of character for 1 second. Or they're not just telling you not to do that. Why in the world did you just keep doing the same thing? You can't get like that with a child at all. You can't show no type of emotion. You got to talk to them very soft. You got to sugarcoat everything that they do, and you got to reward them. You can't take away their devices, right? You cannot punish them because it's cruelty to them. You can't do none of that. None of it. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but they got a lot of parents scared. But my thing is, I kind of understand certain things, but they're going overboard with it. These parents need to get their shit together. Because the child is the child. You're the parent. Your child should not be running you or your household at all. Do you have to beat your child every time? No. There's times where you don't even have to put your hand. Listen, man, it's been a while since, I haven't popped my child. I'm going to say pop because I don't want people to misunderstand it. And I'm not in the mood to explain shit. I haven't popped my 15-year-old since he was like 6, I think it was, or 5 years old. And he was bad as shit. One thing my baby pops has taught me, my fiance has taught me, is that we have to talk to them. Another thing that I have learned, right? Even when we do talk to them, there's a point in time where our kids get rebellious. I'm listening to every story out there. I've seen it. My kids have been there too. That's why I tell a lot of moms, don't push the stepdad, don't push the boyfriend onto your kids too much. A lot of them want to be hard-headed, don't want to listen. Not to just me, but other people that are saying the same thing. Because that can cause a lot of complications. Right? I could sit here and say, even though I'm not single, I've been a single mother to my boys for a very long time. I've had support from my fiance. I've taken it because I've needed it. I don't want my child to end up in the system. You see where I'm coming from? So I took that support. I can't be here selfish as a mother and say, fuck it. At times, do I get mad and say, oh my God, I just want to just run away. I just want to disappear where my kids and nobody can find me? Hell yeah, man, we need a vacation. Some of us parents be going through hell. I wish the kids understood that, right? Man, but they kids. Like, kids in reality, when they kids, they're not even thinking about that. But we're at a point in time where a lot of our kids, right, are thinking about that. My son, along with other kids out here, want to find ways where they can help, us, get out of poverty, get a better home. You see where I'm coming from? I do have a fiance. My fiance is taking care of his own home. He's taking care of his other kids, and he's helping me take care of this home. So I appreciate everything he's doing. You see where I'm coming from? So I'm not going to put more pressure on him, because us females sometimes forget that men also suffer from mental health. You see where I'm coming from? Like, they got a lot on their plate too. Like, I don't know if we think that they're beyond Superman, like they could do way more than what Superman can do. But shit, our men get stressful sometimes. And I'm talking about the men that do what they're supposed to do. We're not talking about these bums out here that don't do shit. Don't even go, don't even go see their kids. And I don't get tired of saying this, right? You as a woman cannot call this man, how can I say? Can't say he's this. He can't say, you can't say he's that. Da, 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 if you're the reason why this man cannot see their child. If you are the reason why he can't see his child, I don't want to hear shit from you. Real shit. I'm to that point already. Because I keep hearing excuses after these fucking, from these fucking women. Not all, some, right? And I can tell people, man, if the shoe fits where that itch and if it doesn't apply, let that shit fly. Because I'm just speaking in general. I'm not speaking about nobody in specific. But let's continue with this, guys.
21. The three friends, Hannah, Sophie, and Ananya Rao, were drinking at Ananya's home, which had a reputation as being a party house. The investigation revealed that this wasn't just a one-time thing. This type of behavior was common and frequent. Parties on Halloween, homecoming, even the last day of school were hosted at the Rao's residence. And each time, the DA says the parents allowed underage drinking.
While Hannah Hackmeyer was the one behind the wheel, that terrible.
Each time the parents allowed the drinking. You see what I'm saying?
Night, we have determined that she was not the only one responsible for what happened. Through our investigation, we learned that Hannah, Sophia, and Ananya had spent the evening of February 23rd at Ananya's house. The friends shared a bottle of wine in the kitchen in plain view of Ananya's parents, Sumant and Andita Rao. At around 11:45 p.m., the teens told Mr. Rao they wanted to go for a drive. Ananya's parents knew the girls had been drinking, but they still let them get into a car and leave the house with an open bottle of wine in the front seat. Less than 30 minutes later, a little more than a half mile away, that decision would prove deadly.
The driver, Hannah Hackmeyer, is charged with 3 counts of homicide by vehicle, driving under the influence, and reckless driving, while the alleged party house parents, Sumant and Anandita Rao, each face involuntary manslaughter charges. Since the indictment, Hannah has posted a $25,000 bond, and she's awaiting her next court date. She's being held within her home. Anandita has surrendered herself and is currently awaiting her arraignment in the DeKalb County Jail, while her husband, Sumant, is expected to surrender when he returns from a business trip. The Rao's daughter, Ananya, has not been charged with any crimes regarding this incident. According to Sophie's LinkedIn, she went to Lakeside High School. She was a student, and she started working as a data manager and analyst at Tinkermeister Incorporated. She loved working with data and developed a wide range of skills since being at the company. Before that, she worked full-time at an adventure camp in Germany as a camp counselor. She was always up for a challenge. After the crash, Lakeside High School sent a letter home to parents and guardians. It said, "Please keep the families in your thoughts and prayers."
No matter what, and no matter how anybody want to put it, the parents were being neglectful. I don't know why and what crossed these parents' heads that, it's okay for their underage child to go behind the wheel while they was intoxicated. This is why I'm saying that more parents need to be more harder on their kids. I'm not saying push it, go overboard, but these kids are at a point where we cannot get soft with them. We cannot sugarcoat anything. We cannot just keep saying, oh, it's okay, it's fine. Nah, we got to do something. What can we do? I mean, listen, united, we could figure it out, but divided, we're just going to keep crumbling.
Sophie's parents have asked for privacy during this extremely difficult time, keeping our focus on the facts and not speculation around circumstances leading to the accident is paramount. I want to take a moment to tell you about Morgan & Morgan, which is sponsoring today's Law and Crime YouTube takeover. With the cases I cover here on Crime Fix, the world can be very dangerous over.
Who got charged
So
for
how
this?
common is it for
The
parents
got
to
charged.
face charges in a case like this one? I wonder.
Before they keep going, I want to ask all of y'all, do y'all believe that the parents should have gotten charged for letting their kids drive under the influence? Me? Yes. And I'm not sure if the daughter died or if she's arrested or, you know, but if she's alive and she's arrested, yeah, she should be held accountable too. She shouldn't have been behind that wheel. She's old enough to know the consequences behind her actions. And her parents should have known the consequences behind them saying, yes, go ahead, it's okay to drive. Nah, man, I would have hid the keys, something. I don't care. Cops get called, learn your lesson. Because our kids, after a certain point in time, you have to show them, you want to be grown, this is what it is to be grown. Like, I don't care who gets mad at me or who says you're wrong. Listen, look what we're creating. If you're saying that the system, I mean, that what the way that everything was being done before is working, is not. And I'm not talking about the old ways, because I feel as though we should bring the old ways and twist it up a little bit with the new school, right? That's why I keep saying, go check out the Word, right? Word talks about a lot of this stuff. He talks about the conscience. He talks about accountability, responsibility. He breaks down, you know, a lot of stuff. Let me put it like that, man. Let me put it like that. He'll break down a lot of stuff to you, and you will understand. And if you don't, hearing it from Word, then I don't know who else to send you to, because Word, out of every YouTuber that I've seen on here, really breaks it down. He breaks it down to the point where a kindergarten can understand. So I got to give that man his roses, give him his respect. Yo, I appreciate him for real, especially for all the work that he's putting in. Like, men like him don't get, you know, talked about a lot, and they don't get appreciated a lot. But me as a mother out here, I appreciate men out here that are trying to do this type of work for our kids, because a lot of people give up on the kids.
I'm going to bring in Meg Strickler. She is a defense attorney in Georgia and actually is very familiar with the DeKalb County area. So, Meg, your thoughts on the parents being indicted for involuntary manslaughter and other charges in this case, including maintaining, I think, a disorderly house, which is something I had not really heard of before.
Oh, wow. Disorderly house?
I like Sherry Boston. She's the district attorney for DeKalb County, and I respect her. So when I see her press conference and she's saying, look, I had to charge this because when I looked at the egregiousness of the conduct, I had to do something. And I do think that's a heartfelt message she's saying. And so when you look at the indictment, you have to, in order to charge involuntary manslaughter, she had to do the reckless conduct charge. The house thing, I've never heard of it myself. So I think she's just kind of pointing out to potential jurors, here's the entire storyline, and, you know, this is what happened. And I think what she believes, and I live in DeKalb County, my office is in Fulton County, but I'm very familiar with that area, and to speed on that road takes some egregiousness. And so I'm a little surprised they didn't also add aggressive driving or reckless driving or something like this to, and maybe they did, to the person that was driving. I did not look at the specific charges other than the DUIs and the vehicular homicide. But to answer your question, it's the egregiousness. I think that's why we're here. It's one thing to, you know, I have teenagers. There are things that I have a suspicion goes on in my teenager's life that I don't really approve of, and I sure as heck I'm not hating them alcohol. But I think it would be I'd be in denial if I didn't think teenagers drink alcohol. That's one level of.
I mean, we know that. Listen, we know that once our kids hit a certain age, right? They'll go out there, they'll experiment, they'll do things, right? Some of our kids at 15, 16, 17 are having sex. Believe it or not, they know to use condoms. They know what to do, what not to do. Like, I don't know why we keep thinking that kids are dumb. They don't know nothing. We shouldn't talk to them. They're not going to understand. Well, guess what? Let me bust a lot of y'all bubbles, right? Kids are smart. Kids understand. They're not stupid. They're not retarded. They're not dumb. Like, I don't understand. It was crazy as I seen some of these kids have great conversations. Why? Because they want to change their lives. And I'm sitting here, it's like, this is totally different. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm like 17, 16-year-olds sitting here talking like they're, you know, grown, like showing them, look, I could be responsible. I'm willing to stop doing this. I want to do this. I want to show that I can do this. I'm not showing it for you, but I want to show it that I want to show myself that I can better myself. And it's because, you know, people that are like the Word, people that are like my fiance, people that are like Nate the Great, right? People that are like my homie from down the street, people that are like my young boy over here. Like I got my young boy over here, 23 years old, and he's got a lot of young boys under his wing because he was taken under somebody's wing. And what's he doing? He's trying to get them all out these streets, trying to get them into jobs. Like, listen, every little job he gets, he try to hook up his little homies with. And the ones that will go. And it was crazy, 23 years old, he knows that a lot of these young bulls don't care. So his focus is on helping the ones that do want it, the ones that do care, the ones that it's not going to keep taking him back to the bullshit. Right? A lot of these young bulls, they getting it. So it's crazy how we keep saying there's no getting through to them. But the thing is, right, we have to get through to the ones that want the help. We can't keep focusing on the ones that don't. That's why I can't wait to, figure out how to get this whole community center out and about. And that's why I'm going to start it here. I'm going to start it here. I'm going to fix this house up, right? That's why it's a little harder because I'm just one more piece of paper. And then I'm going to start it. I'm going to do the little workshops. I'm going to get more printers. I'm going to do, what I got to do. But I got to get funds to fix this house up because this house was handed. I'm not even staying here. I'm just like, listen, I'm trying to get it fixed up, get the business started. I'll stay upstairs for a little bit, get out. You see where I'm coming from? But I'm definitely going to once I'm out, I'm going to turn this whole thing into the community center. And, help the kids that do want to get help, the kids that want to get out the hood, the kids that don't want to stay here, that want to better themselves. You know what it is every day that I hear my son say, Mom, I'm not comfortable around here. I don't feel safe in this area. And it's crazy because HP is starting to get like a lot of other areas. Like this was a community where a lot of people was together at one point. But now for the past couple of years, especially since the pandemic started, ain't nothing but shootings. All times of the day. You see these kids jumping the adults, the elderly. You see the adults disrespecting the kids. Like you see the little young bulls out here in these corners, 7, 8 years old. Something that when I was growing up didn't really exist. Not that young. Trying to bust traps out in the corners. That's why I'm looking at everything. Sometimes I just look around and questions just linger. Like I look at my community and I swear to God that some of them just got strings attached to their backs. Like situations like this shouldn't be happening. We should be parenting our kids, not joining them, being their best friends, partying with them every day, getting high with them. That's not our role as a parent.
Okay, I would argue, but it's not okay to say, all right, I'm going to give wine and let the whole neighborhood know that y'all can come to my house and drink. That's one more level of egregiousness. And the final level of egregiousness is letting them get out in the car. That's the line that was crossed. And that's why Sherry Boston's like, I've got to charge these parents for this behavior. To allow anyone in 2024 to drive is wrong.
You charge both.
Yeah, to me, it seems to me, I mean, we have an 18-year-old girl who had her whole life ahead of her, who's dead. I mean, it's a horrible story. And the DA is clearly sending a message because she's saying this wasn't an isolated incident. She's saying this was the party house. The Rouse allowed this regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And they're letting the kids sit there and drink wine. The Rouse daughter, of course, is not facing charges because she wasn't the one behind the wheel. Hannah Hackmeyer was.
Oh, wow.
The friend of her daughter and the friend of Sophie. But they're saying this was a party house and this was allowed a lot. And they just condoned it. And so is the DA partly sending a message?
There should be consequences for both parents. The girl that was behind the wheel, right? Her parents and her, and the girl, the shorty that was in the party. So I thought the shorty that was in the party was the one that was behind the wheel. No, but either way, they were both drinking. Neither one of these parents should have let these kids get behind the wheel. Neither one of them. So there should be consequences for all of them, for all parties involved that caused that other teen to lose her life because party house parents charged in teens drunk driving and which, ended up in the death. So these two girls were behind the wheel and they caused a teenager to lose their life. Yeah, they should pay the consequences behind that. And the parents should pay for it too, for letting them get in.
That this is not going to be condoned in DeKalb County.
I think it's a fantastic message, and I that's what I hope she is doing. And I think that's what one's job is when you are the district attorney. But
If
why
you're
are
the attorney,
they-
though, Meg, for the
Yes.
Rouse,
Yes.
representing them,
Yes.
is this a tough case to defend, or is it an easy case to defend? I mean, you've got minors.
You can hear
sitting
my
around.
point of view. You can hear my point of view. I'm actually very prosecutorially oriented when it comes to drunk driving. And so all lawyers are going to have different idiosyncratic points of view, period. But what I use is law, and I use that in defending my clients, okay? Everyone has a right to defend their cases, okay? So in this context, I'm going to flip my hat. I was wearing more of a prosecutorially hat a minute ago. Now I'm going to wear a defense hat. The defense hat is this is completely overcharged. They overcharged these people, and I do think they could 100% get a misdemeanor conviction of just reckless conduct, because I do think the behavior that's alleged in the indictment 100% equals reckless conduct. Now,
Nah, man. Shout out to Mel Dub for bringing up these topics the other day. Man, I was on his panel the other day, man, and he asked a great question. Should kids that, have these type of behaviors have, punishment or rehabilitation? I feel as though that this shorty right here should go through some rehabilitation and then deal with her punishment, because it seems like she has a drinking condition. So she should go through some rehabilitation, then, have to deal with the punishment. For real. Because if she don't go through the rehabilitation, she won't be able to go through the punishment. So with this case right here, I feel as though rehabilitation and punishment. The case that he was talking about, I feel is just punishment or rehabilitation, unless they're going through some mental health. Them kids jumped an elderly person and killed them. So them kids deserve to get punished. They knew from right and wrong.
you're going to hear me get confused when I say this to you. If I'm saying that they can have a conviction for reckless conduct, by definition, if that reckless conduct caused a death, they are then also can be convicted of involuntary manslaughter. So I'm going to say something that's going to make a little bit of not sense to you. When we have law and we have jurors, they're going to probably get confused. And so if we went to trial with these charges, my guess is they would do the House one, so that the parents would get convicted of something, but then they wouldn't have to be convicted of the felony. Does that make any sense to you? Because I think that's why that third charge is there. There deserves to be a resolution here, short of a felony conviction, because this does need to make a statement, and they were reckless and really in the wrong.
So you think, because this almost gets me thinking about the Crumbly case in Michigan. You know, that's a school shooting case, totally kind of different, but kind of the same. Because I mean, the allegation is that not only were you providing the alcohol, you had to have been, because these were minors, but you're allowing them to drink it and then allowing them to get into a vehicle because you're in charge of the kids.
Facts.
I mean, they're minors. Well, Sophie was 18, but you're supposed to have these kids at your house. They go out for a.
Okay, one of them was 18. Even if the other one was 18, though, like, you in charge of everybody there, and so this little 18-year-old is 21, right? He's still your child. He's still under your rules. What you say? Hey, man, these
drive. You could have basically said, no, you've been drinking. You're not getting in a car and going out at 11:45 at night. And then they wreck and Sophie dies. But it kind of reminds me of that. So you think involuntary manslaughter could be a tough sell here?
I do. And it just you asked me as a defense lawyer. I think if we got to a point where if the lawyer who represents them gets to a lot of discussions with the prosecutor and makes some statements to the effect of, these were my issues at the time. I was a very busy surgeon. I'm making this up, and he's not excusing this, but we were on the treadmill of life and we were not paying attention to all of our misjudgments and bad judgments. And we are going to pledge to make better on this. Okay. And we will never let this happen again. And we will, do whatever DeKalb County needs us to do to further educate other people in the future. Maybe go speak to high schools about the the choices of drinking and driving, the fact that you can have one drink and you're already over the legal limit, because remember the legal limit for people under 21 is so low. So you can have just a half glass, one glass, whatever. If you have, it gets metabolized quickly. I don't think still to this day kids get that you can have one or two drinks and be DUI as opposed to adults. You know, we are 0.08, which is probably 2 glasses of wine, or 2 beers, 3 beers, depending on who you are. Now, that would be a great thing that Sherry Boston would request, is you've got to, from here on out, do a community service project. And I would suggest that as a defense lawyer. We're going to do this from here on out. Another suggestion would be is we will never have alcohol in our house again. Make promises and put it in writing. You know, and I think that would move the needle back down to a misdemeanor.
Well, it will be interesting to see how it pans out and how this case resolves itself. But that poor Sophie and her family, it breaks my heart as a mom, and it makes me want to wrap my son in bubble wrap until he's like 30. Meg Strickler, you know, it's awful. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here now.
Yo, if I knew back then what I know now, the things that these parents be doing is it's just crazy, man. Just give me 1 second real quick. I'm going to deal with something with my baby pops. I'll be right back. If I knew then what I know now, sometimes I wonder, would I be the same or would I be different? A shorty still believes in fairy tales and imagination that lasts forever. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes, will things change? Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. I wake up in the morning feeling lost and alone, wondering if life's worth living or if I should grab the throne. The weight of the world on my shoulders is hard to bear. I see no change, it's like nobody cares. I look in the mirror, see a stranger staring back, lost in the world that's spinning off track. I ask myself, is this all there is, or should I give up and let the darkness win? I see no change, just the same old game. Wake up in the morning, I ask myself, is life worth living, or should I blast myself? I see no change, just the same old pain, but I know deep down, I gotta break these chains. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of time, fix my mistakes, will things change? Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. If I can go back in time, tell my younger self it's gonna be fine. Embrace the challenges, let your light shine. You'll grow and learn, just give it time. Hey young me, listen up, don't be afraid. Life's a journey, mistakes will be made. Chase your dreams, don't let them fade. Believe in yourself, you'll make the grade. Don't stress about what others say. Stay true to yourself every day. Love deeply, laugh often, don't delay, cause in the end, it's how you play. Be kind to others along the way. Spread love and positivity each day. Don't worry about what they may say, cause your uniqueness is here to stay. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes, but things change. Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. If I can meet my younger self, I tell her not to be afraid, that courage will be her wealth and bravery will never fade. Don't fear the challenges ahead, for you'll face them head on. Your inner strength will dawn. You'll grow up to be a warrior, standing tall, unafraid and strong. A parent, a role model, and inspired, fighting for what's right all along. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of time, fix my mistakes, but things change. Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. Looking back on all the roads I've traveled, regrets and lessons learned along the way, but still holding on to hope and faith that with God's grace, a brighter day will come our way. I see no change at all. I'm stuck in this cycle, feeling so small. I ask myself, is this all there is, or should I just end it all with a final kiss? I try to stay strong, but it's getting harder each day. The pain and the struggle won't seem to go away. I'm tired of the lies, tired of the deceit. I see no change, just defeat after defeat. I wake up in the morning feeling lost and alone, wondering if life's worth living or if I should grab the throne. The weight of the world on my shoulders is hard to bear. I see no change, it's like nobody cares. Deep down I know I must fight, I won't let the darkness consume me. I'll shine my light, I'll rise above the pain, I'll break free from these chains. I'll find my purpose and I'll make a change. Sometimes I wonder if I turn back the hands of times, fix my mistakes, will things change? Oh Lord, guide me through this journey of life, help me see the light through all the pain and strife. Sometimes in life we make so many mistakes, and we think that when we fall, we're not able to get up. We listen to those that, talk in our ear, tell us that they, are there for us. And at the end of the day, what's crazy? A friend ain't nothing but $1 in your pocket. Family is what you make of it. Family is not who you're born into. Alright? So we need to pick ourselves up and do what we gotta do. Life is not for you to sit around and wait for Superman to come save you. Only you can save yourself.
Just like that.
Computer shit. But I'm just pointing it out though, like
All right, y'all. We're gonna go on to the next topic. We got the YouTube's most. Do I got the video up here? Yes. Here we go. YouTube's most disgusting terminated channels. People keep thinking their channels cannot get terminated. They could do whatever, say whatever they want here on social media. But whether you're on YouTube or I've learned it, even Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, certain things you do, certain things you say can get your ass banned. That's why I'm always say I will never ever sell my soul for no clicks and views.
YouTube has the ability to be a place of creativity and ambition like no other. But let's be fair, some people take the absolute piss, and they often get taken out by the YouTube gods. In this video, I'm going to cover some of the most unique reasons YouTube channels have been terminated, and trust me, some of them are bonkers. Also, before we get into things, make sure to follow me on all of my socials if you enjoy my videos. Aside from that, let's get into things. So let's start off with one that you guys all might know. This is Shani for Christ. And if you don't know her, you're in for a real lesson today because a lot of these channels are incredibly niche. It was June of 2021 when Shani for Christ's channel was terminated after a long slew of being abusive to her family. The first major incident that led to her eventual online demise came in 2019 after she was convicted of assaulting her former partner, a man by the name of Jason Egroff, better known as Rev. She allegedly slapped him across the face before attacking him with a whip.
I think I heard about this story, but I didn't know her channel got terminated. But still, why are there men out here that let women put their hands on them? I'm not saying put your hands on them back, but just walk away. Leave the relationship, leave the situation. I don't understand that.
2 years later, while Shani was live streaming, he threatened to beat her child as they were all driving in the car together.
I think
to make matters worse, based upon the article I read on the situation, it's to my belief that her son was aged about 12 to 13 and was autistic. Not only was she abusive, but also was her partner, and this was too much for YouTube, who declared that these incidents breached their terms of service, and Shani for Christ was deleted before being reinstated, and then once again swiftly deleted. She's since tried to come back on multiple occasions, but each time the door has been slammed in her face, and it appears as though Shani for Christ's YouTube career is over, gaining about 3,000 subscribers.
If I be the CEO of YouTube, I wouldn't let her come back too. She's sitting here abusing her child and abusing. And when she's around us and we listen to something inappropriate, I like the fact that he sits down and he explains to her and breaks down to her why she shouldn't be saying, repeating, or mimicking what she's seeing at that moment. And I noticed that a lot of parents don't do that. Like, I was like that too at one point. Like, I had to learn that. I had to sit here and explain to them before I even popped them. Or if I did pop them when they did something, explain to them why and what was the reason that I was popping them for. Like, and I noticed a lot of parents are still on that stage, on that mentality where it's just pop, don't explain, none of that. I think I probably got one left in that one pack right there. Maybe. I'll find out when I unravel.
It's actually a GoAnimate wiki, which has described Tyler Javits, or Shugo Charaboy, as an abuser, stating he was seen by many involved as a horrible person with belly and man-child fetishes. So yeah, he's probably anonymous. Pause and read it if you care to. And don't think that this will be the last time we discuss GoAnimate in this video. This is only the tip of the iceberg. We have to go much deeper for the rest.
Hey, sorry for interrupting. Isn't that annoying? What if I told you there was a way to get rid of ads like this?
Damn, I forgot to take off the ads. My bad. Yo, you got to be careful. For those parents out there that still got their kids on YouTube Kids, you have to monitor your kids on YouTube Kids. For some reason, videos still get uploaded there that are inappropriate for kids.
So the next one is more of a group of channels that were all deleted around the same time, and for good reason. They are incredibly awful, the worst of the worst. It's almost hard to fathom how much of a villain you have to be to think that this would be an acceptable way of behaving. It's the pet rescue genre. So if you haven't heard of the pet rescue genre before, there's something that you have to understand. Some people care more for attention, YouTube success, and money than they do for defenseless animals. While on the surface, these channels might seem very noble or wholesome, as we've seen on YouTube time and time and time again, often an entire genre has more than meets the eye. We saw it with family channels that exploit children for views. It happened with prank channels that faked content. It happened with primitive building channels for the same reason. But the reason that YouTube deleted a ton of pet rescue channels was that they weren't actually saving these pets. They were putting them in danger. You see, the premise of these channels were usually that there was an injured puppy or kitten, and someone would record themselves saving it from a situation.
I mean, but then that means that they got a whole lot of more banning to do, because I still see videos like this, especially shorts on YouTube. I guess they forgot some.
And getting it back to full health. But unless the videos are user submitted or the channel belongs to a company like the RSPCA, which deals with this kind of situation every day, you cannot make a pet rescue channel because you just wouldn't run into injured puppies and kittens every day. So what did these guys do? They injured them themselves. Nick Crowley has a fantastic video on the topic, which I'll link in the description if you're interested in finding out more.
All the people that
according to Wikipedia, there have been over 30 different channels that have been deleted for purposely putting animals such as dogs and cats in danger for the purpose of saving them on camera, making views, gaining subscribers, and earning money. If you've seen my videos before, you might know my stance on it. I think you have to be sick in the head to do this kind of stuff, but unfortunately, it does happen quite a lot. Oddcast is the next creator I want to talk about, and straight up, this dude is infamous. His streams are definitely pushing the boundaries.
In all honesty, if I had the money, I would buy an Asian prostitute and bring it to America. I wouldn't teach her English at all. I'd keep her ass in the fucking house, just cook and clean.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff he says online. Now, according to my research, he was already very close to termination before he was eventually snuffed off the platform in November 2021. On account of his toxic and frankly racist fan base. But something would soon happen after to put the final nail in the coffin, and that was that he was apparently going to purge his Discord to get rid of all of the trolls, and then, and I quote, after unmodding one of his mods, he failed to realize that the moderator had channel permissions, and the moderator took revenge by changing his channel profile picture to an asshole and uploaded the 2019 New Zealand Mosque
When they find out you don't even hate the nigga, you just don't like some parts of his policy.
Looking on YouTube, this guy did seem to have a very big cult following, but I guess that doesn't matter anymore because his channel is now lost to the earth, never to be revived. This is an interesting story. If you haven't heard of Dolly Flesh before, it's about to open up a big can of worms. So Dolly Flesh was a stop-motion animator on YouTube and has been dubbed the internet's most disturbed animator. So what did he do that was that disturbed? Well, a lot of his art seems to be depictions of what many people thought were his fantasies, many of these being very graphic and violent. Much of his work included actions such as dismemberment, cannibalism, sexual assault, and even animal abuse, but not done.
I mean, all that goes against community guidelines with YouTube. So why would people even try it? This is what I don't understand. When people try to become content creators, do they read the guidelines? Do they read, you know, what you're allowed to and what not to do on YouTube? I don't think a lot of people do that. It took me a little minute to get through them community guidelines, but I made sure I read them, especially after a couple strikes. I think some of them is stupid, but a lot of them is really, really needed, especially for situations like this.
Done in a way that might evoke subtlety, not that they're used in a larger narrative, in a way that glamorize them. And many people think that these are what he wanted to do. These were his fantasies.
That's nasty.
It was clear to see.
Yo, that's one thing I cannot stand doing is watching people eat like a pig on screen. I swear to God.
That he loved to see women in particular being gruesomely tortured or degraded. And
he needed help. If he liked to watch women on YouTube, on TV, online, getting tortured or mutilated, yeah, something was wrong with him. He needed to see a psychologist.
Speaking of torture, in 2021, Dolly Flesh was arrested after torturing.
Accused Kellowan hamster killer facing new charge for publishing video. Oh wow, he killed a hamster and published that shit online. No wonder they terminated his John. That is crazy. This young boy was shot out.
And murdering his 3 pet hamsters. The method of which is extremely disturbed, and so the less said on the matter, the better. Eventually...
Damn, man. I know all rats must die, even Master Splinter, but damn, a little hamster? What that hamster do to him? 3 little hamsters at that.
It was brought to the attention of Susan and the YouTube team, who decided that this art had to be erased from the site. In fairness, I think that all of the channels in this video that got terminated got what was coming to them. For example, our next entry. One of the most controversial figures in this video, Richard Spencer, is the subject of our next story.
I don't know.
He had just shy of 3,000 subscribers on YouTube when he was terminated in June 2020. And while you might not know his channel, I'm sure you're aware of his work. And if you don't know what I mean, let me explain. While his name might not be that well known, he was one of the figureheads around the 2017 Charlottesville Unite the Right rally, a rally attended by white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and white nationalists, which ended in the deaths of 3 people. Now, I think it might be a bit easier to understand why YouTube decided that his voice on the platform needed to be taken away. Just by a simple look of his name up on YouTube, you'll be greeted with such gems as rebranding white nationalism, Richard Spencer wants to make white privilege great, watch Richard Spencer explain why he's not a Nazi, we memed the alt-right into existence, and my personal favorite.
While explaining why he's not a Nazi, still being a Nazi. This is crazy, white supremacists. Yo, we gotta watch the channel. Yo, this is why I've learned now, you know, unless I've had conversations with a content creator on, you know, another channel, not to be on, you know, certain people's panels and stuff like that, or certain people's chats. Now, you know, a shorty observes from a distance. This YouTube is crazy. Like, not just YouTube, but I think all social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Rumble, that Miko app, did I say Snapchat already? Twitter. I mean, there's apps that are worse than other apps. I don't think YouTube is the worst one. I just think that YouTube is shut out. Because if you want to go to the worst ones, people act crazy on Instagram, Facebook, that Miko app. You got some content creators on TikTok that be acting crazy, just like the ones on here too. You got other apps, or what is it? Moko. Like, listen, man, don't get me to lie, but there's a whole bunch of other little social media apps that other people be on just to do crazy shit. You got Rumble, right? But I like Rumble because, you know, you don't be censored on Rumble. Like, you can really say whatever you want on Rumble. I got to start going live. But in order for me to go live, I got to upload videos on that joint. So I think I'm going to start uploading some of my YouTube videos on my Rumble account. Then, you know, once I get, they say the subscribers and the viewership or some shit like that, I can start going live. It's different from YouTube over there. But let's continue, y'all. There's a whole white supremacist on YouTube. How long did he get away with this? 4 years? Okay, so this was 2 years ago. Oh, wow. Man, keep sending me videos. I didn't even know.
Africans have benefited from white supremacy. Wait, what? his beliefs are really full of shit. And again, he was a big figurehead in many of the biggest far-right movements over the past 5 years.
A supremacist on the DL. Ain't that some
channel
shit?
was terminated. Speaking
A whole supremacist on the DL trying to say he's not a supremacist while being a supremacist. How that won't work?
of full of shit, I really don't know where to begin on this one. On the 27th of March 2021, a channel by the name of Fuzzy Wuzzy was terminated from YouTube.
What
It had
the
about
fuck?
1,600 subscribers at the time.
Sorry.
Once I read its story, I knew I had to include it.
Right here.
The channel Fuzzy Wuzzy was deleted for its fetishes.
What?
So to get to the bottom of things, we had to go back to 2015
Wuzzy.
when it was created. 8 days
Who
after its
created this
inception,
channel?
the owner of the channel uploaded a video titled Noisy Mess in Undies. And if I show you the channel icon, I think you can piece 2 and 2 together, but in case you can't, if I'm not mistaken, this was someone who was shitting their britches on camera and putting the videos up on YouTube. I don't know what it is, but I've been talking about kinks and fetishes way more recently on the channel than ever before.
Man, we gotta be careful with a lot of people on social media. A lot of people got a lot of fetishes. Man, listen, I've learned that even in your chats, you got to be careful because you got the predators lurking in there. You got the cults lurking in there, man. I haven't seen the Illuminati yet, but shit, other types of cults in our chats, shit, we seen that shit. Man, we got to be careful with social media. You don't know who is who behind that screen. People could portray to be whatever they want. Listen, man, it's not hard to fake a smile.
Kill me. The platform got catch of his deeds in 2020 after he uploaded a video called Huge Underwear Poop.
What
and
the
the following
hell?
year, the swift hammer of YouTube struck upon Fuzzy Wuzzy, and his dookie empire was flushed down the toilet, as it were.
Your auto insurance company
These
doesn't
damn
want you to know
ads.
this, but you might be overpaying. That's why official
Shay Gacha.
Who the hell is Shay
This
Shay?
video
Shay
is
Shay
something
Gacha?
else. So if you don't know who Shay Gacha is,
Another
or at least was,
animated-
because their channel has obviously been deleted, her channel gained a lot of popularity in the early months of 2021 for saying some of the most vile stuff you perhaps could. For one, she mocked both cancer and Tourette's, saying that they don't exist and that people need to stop faking them. She then
Oh,
uploaded
shit.
videos of her beating up cancer patients and people with Tourette's
Wow.
in Gacha life. And of everything she's known for, this is probably the least bad. Trust me, it gets worse from here. It was the same year, 2021, where she started to gain attention online because after YouTuber Jacksepticeye's father passed away, she made videos mocking both the deceased and the bereaving, insulting Septiceye and his late father. These videos gained tens of thousands of views, and Shay Gacha gained a few thousand subscribers. This would arguably be topped, though, because she...
Listen, you know what? I don't understand how some people could be into that stuff. You want to know why I say that? Because the same people that say they into that stuff, right? That hear people down talk people, family members, or down talk other people, or bring them down, or bully them and stuff like that on social media, are the same people that cannot handle any type of smoke that come their way. Even though even though they say they want beef, or they like the beef, or any of that stuff. Like when a U is pulled on you, motherfuckers don't like that shit. So I don't understand how and why people out here doing it.
He then would argue that MAPs, or MAPs, I don't really know the acronym if you pronounce it MAP or not, were a good thing. And if you don't know what an MAP is, it stands for a minor attracted person. And yeah, she went on to support MAP Pride and was shortly terminated afterwards. Of course, she was very likely trolling. I can't think that anyone in the world is that obscene. At least I refuse to believe it. But in short, she was terminated for clearly violating YouTube's guidelines. Nothing more to say on the matter. This was a termination for all the right reasons. So this next one, I really don't know how controversial this is going to be. I want to see your guys' reaction to this story. This is the story of Natasha Mail, and just like the pet rescue videos, she's just the tip of the iceberg of a much larger genre of YouTube video. So Natasha Mail was part of a genre of YouTube videos that has essentially been culled, and that genre is the breastfeeding niche. Now, obviously, people are going to have differing opinions on where and when new mothers can whip out the milk makers. I'm not going to touch that argument. But what about when it comes to not a new mother at all? So the deal is that it's going to be quite difficult to make content surrounding breastfeeding because, first of all, YouTube's guidelines surrounding nudity are quite enforced, but you can only do it for a maximum of 2 years per child, right? Well, apparently wrong, because despite most sources I've found online, such as the NHS and the American Academy of Pediatrics, stating that 6 months to about 2 years is the right time to stop breastfeeding, over the past 5 or so years,
I mean, it is. Listen, I don't think it's appropriate for any woman to sit here and breastfeed their child after 6 months to a year. Like at 6 months, your child should already be holding like a sippy cup or something, like not a sippy cup, like a little, one of them little cups to help them practice to hold cups and stuff like that. You should already be, crawling, trying to walk. Like at a year old, your child should already be on the sippy cup, not on a bottle, not on your breast. If anything, you should pump that milk out if you want to continue to breastfeed, right? And put it in a cup. But I wouldn't suggest all the way up to a year to keep your baby on a breast. 2 years old. I mean, all the way up to 2 years old to keep your baby on the breast. I mean, once the baby's 1 year old, I think that right there, you should stop the breastfeeding. If you want to continue to give your baby breast milk all the way until they're 2 years old, pump that breast milk out and then give it to your baby. But to be on here with your breast online, right, with a 2-year-old baby stuck to your nipple, I've seen women try to do that shit and they got 7-year-old, 8-year-olds on their breast. Like, why is your 7-year-old or your 8-year-old latched to your breast? You're breastfeeding them. Something is really wrong with you. So, I mean, they're not wrong for that. And if anybody sees it wrong, then you need to be careful. If you think that you could sit here and come on YouTube and breastfeed your child that's older than 2 years old, older than 1 year old, you're tripping. You're going against YouTube community guidelines. Maybe before, back then, but
Tasha Mail and roughly 15 other channels have been terminated for breastfeeding older children. Breastfeeding my 9-year-old? Why? Inappropriate? And perhaps more worryingly, breastfeeding until 18 years? But you shouldn't worry too much because these are both kind of clickbait.
I mean, I guess it has to be clickbait because who the hell is going to breastfeed their child till they're 18 years old? Something is wrong with that, mama. And whoever clicks on that clickbait is like, something wrong with you.
She says that she'll stop when it feels natural to stop, and that will probably be around the age of 8. Now, it's 2022. Of course, I'm not going to be the one to tell a woman what she can and can't do with her body. I'd surely get cancelled. Oh, that was a tough legal battle. Personally, 8 is way too old. I would not want to be known as that kid that sucked his mum's tits until year 3. Absolutely not. But I'm probably the least able person to answer this question because I was bottle fed as a baby anyway. YouTube has tried to come down on her content, but every few months she keeps coming back with new channels. Oh yeah, and I should also mention that this is a fetish thing for some people because of course it is. If you search her name up, you'll find a bunch of playlists of women jugs exposed to the world.
I mean, didn't they make, isn't the purpose of OnlyFans for people with fetishes? Why are people still coming to YouTube to watch some type of fetish video? I mean, they got OnlyFans over there. Y'all can go watch that disgusting shit over there. Pornhub. This guy. Wait a minute.
Go to Pornhub. We watching anything.
We're talking about food and stuff like that. Weird fetishes, toes and stuff like that.
You said fetishes. You gotta be specific.
Oh, my bad. I mean, yeah, I keep forgetting there's them type of fetishes
There's all
too.
types of fetishes. So
still, that's why they created that OnlyFans shit.
They got the toes on Pornhub. They got freaky people that want to eat food with sex. So
ew, they do?
I'm just telling you what's out there.
The fuck?
I'm just telling you.
Listen, he said the freaky people that like to eat with food and have sex. I mean, listen, what? Okay, let's play.
If you ask me, it's a bit of hullabaloo.
You got me on that one.
I rely on Grammarly heavily in my day-to-day.
So there's been a trend so far in this video that many members of the far right are recipients of YouTube's termination, and Baked Alaska is no different. He is an alt-right personality and white supremacist.
Another
and since we've already had
supremacist.
one or two of these, I'll
OMG.
keep things brief. According to Wikitubia, he was terminated for posting a video in which he didn't stop harassing shop owners after being asked
Oh,
to wear
that's
a mask
stalking.
in October 2020.
That's stalking.
This might just be the tip of the iceberg, though, no pun intended, because only 2 months later, he'd be involved in the January 2021 Capitol attacks.
Why do you look like
using
that
the
Paul
online
Logan
service
guy?
DLive to live stream the event because his YouTube channel had been terminated.
Not no more. But in that
16,000
picture, he
people
looked like
tuned in
Paul
to watch
Logan.
his version of the
Or
event.
Logan Paul, whichever
If he
one
did
of the
have a
two.
YouTube channel still, he likely would have streamed it there, so it might be for the best that he didn't, especially since he was actually out on bail after pepper spraying a bouncer in December 2020. He was apprehended by the FBI a few days later after the Capitol attacks. And yeah, this was after his termination,
not the
but
one that just
nonetheless, I
fought
think
Mike
it stands
Tyson.
as a good
My
example
brother.
for the sort of behavior that he was promoting. He was hit with violating the guidelines of hate speech and hasn't been seen on YouTube ever since.
Oh.
All 35,000 subscribers of his gone down the drain.
Well, then, something wrong with YouTube. YouTube need to get back on, its job, because there's a lot of people violating YouTube guidelines, and they want to be messing with the people that want to bring awareness. Yo, man, go hit them people over there violating YouTube guidelines.
Officer Poop 247, let's see what we have here. So he's actually best known for being featured in one of Mr. Beast's videos dedicated to bad YouTube intros, but he actually garnered a modest YouTube following before his eventual termination, creating none other than Go Animate videos revolving around the kid's cartoon character and everyone's least favorite bold 5-year-old, Caillou.
Hey.
Now, despite the fact that anyone creating Caillou content should be immediately struck from YouTube servers, Officer
All right, look, listen, man. Y'all not gonna keep messing with my little young bull Caillou, all right? Hey, it's Caillou. Y'all, they keep messing with my little young bull. All right, he was a whiny little kid. If y'all didn't want y'all kids to mimic him, y'all should have explained to y'all kids the cartoon. Listen, I'm not just gonna let my kids watch anything and not explain to them certain things. Even when my daughter watched Dora, I explained to her everything. When she watched Sesame Street, I explained to her. And if I don't do it, her dad does too. Because sometimes, listen, man, certain shit be said, certain shit be shown that you don't even think that would be shown, but it is. You got to give these kids explanations of why these things are happening or why a certain thing is, being showed or talked about in a TV show that they're watching. Like Caillou, the only problem with Caillou was that he was a whiny little brat. All right, I get it. I'm tired of hearing that shit. Man, if you don't want your child watching Caillou, don't put Caillou on for them. I mean, I think it was a good cartoon back in the days. But that's me. But anyways, damn, man, y'all gonna leave my young bull alone.
Poop did last a little while, but on the 20th of May 2018, the YouTube
They keep
gods would
fucking with
smite
Caillou,
him
bro.
after he breached community
I mean, that's
guidelines
Caillou
not
too.
once,
I don't
but
see him
twice,
whining and
thrice,
crying like
and
Caillou.
his channel was soon no more.
The hell?
Oh yeah, the reason that the next channel was terminated is clear as day. If you've never heard of Eveline, let me tell you a little story. In May 2016, YouTube decided to exterminate her from the platform after it was very clear that her controversial misdeeds would never cease. So what did she do then? Well, she was a straight up Nazi. Like, there was no doubt
shit,
about
another
it. She
Nazi?
made vlogs talking about how Hitler did nothing wrong, which was surprisingly common back then. She made a bunch of videos about how to recognize Jews, and perhaps most bizarrely, she sung Happy Birthday to Hitler on 420 instead of...
So far, this is like the 5th person on here trying to tell people that they're not Nazis while being Nazis, that they're not white supremacists while being white supremacists. I cannot understand or figure that out. What you call them, narcissists, right? That's what they're called?
What?
Somebody that's trying to tell you that they're not this while being this, right? And trying to tell you shouldn't be doing this while they're doing it. I don't know if I'm saying that's a narcissist, right? I'm getting it because I was mixing it up with the other one.
Yeah, something like that.
they're taking a dank bong rip. So if you're questioning if she had her priorities straight, now you know for sure. It goes without saying that this dangerous way of thinking would be snuffed out by YouTube, but it's kind of scary to think that 60,000 people liked her views and opinions enough to subscribe. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and make sure I am beating this Nazi. Just make sure to hit that big red button. But if you're not convinced yet, let's get on with the rest of the video.
It's crazy. Shout out for him bringing awareness to this, because this just proves my point of what we've been saying lately. People complain about the same thing that they make go viral. Because if we wouldn't give these things shine here on social media, it wouldn't go viral. It wouldn't be talked about so much. I guess these people wouldn't become so famous. We're complaining about the same things that we make go viral. Shout out to my baby Pops for pointing that out. to me from time to time. Like, if you don't want this to happen, well, don't give it no shine.
And hopefully, eventually, you will be. And if you don't subscribe, the Nazis win. I can't believe I just did that. There's been a recent development in the creator that hopefully, eventually, and if you don't subscribe, development in the creator that I'm going to talk about. Nazis win.
I don't know how people
I can't believe I just did that.
You can't rewind.
There's been a recent development in the creator that I'm going to talk about.
No,
next.
I can fast forward.
His
but it
name
won't let
is
me rewind.
Ghetto ASMR, and his channel was terminated
I'll do
in
it
June
now.
2021 at about 128,000 subscribers for a long list of reasons that he's since spoken about on
I just
Twitch.
did it a couple times.
And that development was that as of last week, he was also banned off TikTok. What might be the reason
They
for his
banned him off
banning?
TikTok?
Well, let me describe it to you like this.
It's not that
When
easy
you're
to
a
get
creator
banned
that
on
has the
TikTok.
same level of success and fame that Ghetto ASMR had, even if you
They
look
banned
like
his
a
ass on
soggy
TikTok. He
fucking
must have did some crazy
pancake,
shit.
you're going to have a lot of people of the opposite sex, or maybe even the same sex, DM you, slide into your DMs. And there have been a lot of creators over the years that have basically given up everything for a few moments of satisfaction. Ghetto ASMR was one of them. It's a tale as old as time online, and it's repeated itself once again.
Yo, the things that people will do for clicks and views just for 15 minutes of fame. Like, they know that half the stuff they do on here will get them banned, but they don't care as long as they get noticed. They don't care if they crash out or if they don't.
Apparently, he uploaded an unlisted video and sent it to a fan. An unlisted video that featured his genitals. This would only be the tip of the iceberg, though, because the guy has been accused of sexting multiple underage people, and his reputation towards women.
So he's not just a weirdo and a fool. This nigga's a predator. Oh, we're gonna build caskets, and they got proof of him inboxing underage. They got proof of him inboxing minors on social media. Oh, wow.
Women has been completely tarnished.
Definitely a big
Apparently,
ban.
the lad can't find
We gotta be
misses without
careful,
using his
yo.
platform to
There's
do
predators
so.
on every
And he was
chat.
reportedly trying to find his #1 fan. Now, many of the times that he DM'd fans or asked for their nudes was after his channel's deletion, but nonetheless, it's not like he became a sex pest overnight. He was obviously doing it before his channel got the axe, and it was apparently the largest cause of his channel's termination.
This holiday, Verizon will turn your old or broken phone into a gift.
That just shows you. Joe, that's a perfect example, man. See, people get on here and they think they could say and do what they want and get away with it. But if you know, you can shut them people down right away. So I be telling people, man, yesterday it was crazy when I found out about the videos and the thumbnails. I was like, damn, it's serious consequences. Like, YouTube do not play around with them re-uploads of somebody else's content or somebody else's thumbnail. That shit is crazy.
Classic YouTube stories. I think the sex pest and this next one really do go hand in hand as the most popular and the most played out. It's a classic story. Someone wants to be big on YouTube and they want it so bad that they forget about ethics and their judgment is clouded. They go balls to the wall in an attempt to achieve their goals, but eventually they're led astray and they cross the line one too many times, and then they just get shafted by YouTube, never reaching the promised land that they gave up everything for. Vorfi is the next YouTuber who got his channel deleted, and I think his Wikitrivia entry on his deletion sums up in good words why he was deplatformed. Vorfi has been streaming a Fortnite fashion show since April 1st and practically brainwashes his viewers into subscribing, liking, using his code, donating money, and even worse, asking for viewers to become
Basically, he's just buying people.
members. The actual stream is on a 30-minute loop and remains on forever. He also threatens his viewers to use the code or else they'll be kicked from the fashion show they desperately want to get into. So if I'm not mistaken things, this guy...
I mean, I guess people like this stuff. Why do people go to channels like this that, where content creators threaten you or they try to manipulate you or convince you or try to convert you into something? I don't get that. Then they turn around and complain about it. People...
I was basically extorting his child audience and cheating the system in doing so. It seems to me like he wanted power, he wanted fame, and he wanted money, and eventually it became too much, and he was terminated.
They
so
want to
this
get
next
used.
one I could have spoken about last time in my video about
YouTube
YouTube's criminal
prankster that got
practices,
arrested.
which you should watch after this one, by the way, if you haven't already. But I decided to include it in this video instead. And that was a channel that was terminated in April 2021 called The Bell Life,
What in the world?
which featured a pair of brothers, Justin Bell, aged 27 at the time, and Howard Bell, aged 44 at the time, who liked to prank each other. The only thing is that their pranks were ill-conceived and often very stupid, even for YouTube pranking standards where the bar is infamously an inch off the floor. The strange thing to me is that the prank that I think sealed the deal was performed in the latter months of 2016. It was driving a motorcycle through Walmart while scantily clad and wearing a cape. The two brothers were subsequently arrested for their actions and each faced a felony of wanton endangerment, and the video was eventually removed. But this doesn't explain why it would almost be half a decade later that their channel would be removed. Either way it was, and the pair had to move to a new channel. So audio listeners, you might want to divert your eyes to the screen right now. Let's just watch a clip right now. I'm not going to say anything, and wonder to ourselves why this channel might have been terminated from YouTube.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I know I said that was the reason he got banned. It actually wasn't, at least according to his Wikitubia. According to his Wikitubia, he's apparently not a man of that inclination, but also according to his Wikitubia, he's 17 years old. So that makes it two hard things to believe. Now, you might be out here saying, oh, well, fuck, you're just going hard on this guy. Why are you out here calling him a nonce? And no, it wasn't the fact that he apparently made George Floyd gaming. Nah, this guy made a video titled, I Hate British People.
Oh, wow.
Long-term viewers, you know, racism, homophobia,
That'll get you terminated.
transphobia, classism. I'll give them all a pass under specific circumstances, but Anglophobia is not a joke. Millions of people suffer every year. We will not be oppressed for any longer. I have a Discord linked in the description. If you want to join the cause, click on it.
Yo, bull tripper. He funny as shit. Anglophobia. What the hell is that shit? All right. We're going to move on to the last video.
Have you heard about the GLP-1 lawsuit? If you've taken a
No, I don't care about the GOP lawsuit. So we're going to get into the unsettled and terminated YouTube channels. We're going to see why these YouTube channels got terminated. We're going to end our live with this video. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in, is rocking out with a shorty. Y'all didn't have to be here, but y'all chose to rock out with me. Y'all could have been anywhere else. Make sure y'all sub up if y'all haven't subbed up, because a shorty does not schedule lives. I just pop up.
With 500 hours worth of video, it's hard to deny how big of a platform YouTube is. With 500 hours worth of video uploaded every minute worldwide, that leaves you with a lot of content to consume. While a lot of this content is relatively innocent in nature, it shouldn't surprise you that many disturbing channels and videos make their way onto the platform. So, today, we are going to look into the most disturbing YouTube channels that got terminated. Before we hop in the video, I just wanted to take a moment and say that I hope you're doing okay. No matter what you may be going through right now, I know that you'll be able to pull through and come out on the other side.
Man, I'm doing very good. Thank you for asking. Man, and yes, I'm on a positive mood this Sunday afternoon, and I am going, be able to push through the other side. Thank you for being so nice. Oh, I wish a lot of YouTubers was like that. I appreciate that.
Natural to have your ups and downs in life. Just remember that
He
it's
got a
okay
positive
to
message.
not be okay all of the time.
Facts.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, enough of my blabbering. Let's hop in today's video.
Man. Let me sub up to you. I like you. Y'all can keep sending me videos. Shit, you see that? I put hated people in videos. Shit, shout out to Verified. That's his, no wait, that's not his name. Verified. What is it? Nayet, something like that. Well, let's see real quick. No, I'll check the I'll check his channel after the video.
Kamerzysta was a Polish YouTuber that was primarily known for his vlog content that was filmed alongside his group of buddies, whom he called Squad. The majority of his content would come from his second channel, which went by the name of Kamus. On this channel, you would find a plethora of content that was pretty similar to most of the uber popular vlogging channels that were out there. You know the ones. Crazy challenges that are so outlandishly absurd that it would make for a great video, or just standard vlogging with high energy and intensity to keep the viewers engaged. Well, Camrozista apparently went a little too far in his challenges because a challenge video would be uploaded that raised all sorts.
That's why I'm glad I got a positive motivational podcast channel and not a vlog. Like these challenges, I think are overboard, outrated, and half these people, listen, I'm not losing my life for a little bit of clicks and views and a little bit of money.
Sorts of controversy. It's been reported that in the video, Camrozista and his squad were coming up with a set of challenges for a person that had a mental disability. Some of the challenges included eating cat litter, swimming in sewage, jumping from the balcony into a garbage bin, and even breaking bricks over his own head. While at the time of filming, the squad wasn't aware of the person's disability, it was made very clear to the public after a few days. Camrozista claimed that he had no idea this person was mentally disabled at the time of filming, and he even said that he wasn't going to apologize for what he had done. He claims that he didn't force the person to do anything and that it was all on his own.
No, that's bullshit. I don't believe that. Like, he used a mentally disabled challenged person to sit here and get some clicks and views online, have him do a challenge. He said he didn't force him. That's bull.
Didn't warrant any type of apology. This didn't sit well with numerous creators, and many were outspoken about disavowing the actions of Camrozista and his squad. Commenters shared their thoughts about Camrozista in a Eudoxia Mysteries video. You forgot to add that Camrozista had a court sentence, probably forbidding him to show his image on the internet. He also had a sentence for beating a 66-year-old guy.
Oh, wow.
As someone from Poland, I'm really glad you talked about Camrozista had a sentence for beating a 66.
You forgot to add that Camrozista had a court sentence probably for forbidding him to show his image on the internet. He had a sentence for beating a 66-year-old guy. I don't understand some of these people, yo.
Year-old guy. As someone from Poland, I'm really glad you talked about Camrozista. Most Polish YouTubers and other people have been trying to get him out of YouTube for years. He did a lot of up stuff. So while getting him arrested was a small victory, even though it should have been done sooner. Camrozista.
What's crazy is that a lot of people like this. See, and they say it's only a little bit of people out there that are into this stuff. No, it seems there's a lot of people out here. A lot of them say they're not into it. A lot of them say they don't like this, but you be seeing them. Like how can I say, they be funding these wars online. They really do. They'll sit here and pay these content creators to do these type of things and then want to sit here and say, oh, I feel bad for the person. How you feel bad if you sat here and you paid for this to happen? Kind of like on The Purge. That's what it's kind of like motherfuckers out here paying people on social media to do the weirdest things out here to other people and then want to turn around and say, oh, they shouldn't have did this, that he should have been locked. But y'all just funded that war. Like, I swear to God, I feel like we're living in the Purge movie. I don't get tired of saying that.
He would eventually be arrested and put in jail for his actions. While I couldn't find exact court information in regards to his arrest, it has been cited from youtube.fandom.com that he, quote, was remanded for 5.5 months. His first hearing was in September and second at the beginning of October. The third is planned to be in November. His main channel, Camrozista, and second channel, Chemis, would be terminated for violating YouTube's terms of service. It's also been alleged, again, alleged by a commenter in the same Eudoxia Mysteries video that, quote, he hit an older man who defended a cashier Camrozista tried to prank in the face, and that man died as a result. Again, I couldn't find any public.
I don't know why I did that. I can't, the camera. I can't understand for my life. How do people think it's funny? I don't think it's comedy. I don't think it's a prank when people go out here and they start abusing the elderly for, clicks and views and to get paid off them cash apps. I don't consider that a prank. A prank trying to scare somebody. And what's crazy is you got to be careful with when you scare these elderly people. You could end up having somebody having a heart attack or a stroke. Like, I don't believe in that type of stuff. So I'm glad they banned this person from being in any social media platform. Because at the end of the day, I've seen people get arrested behind that type of stuff. I think they consider that murder or some shit like that, and it's another name attached to it.
Court
When
information
somebody ends
about
up
this
dead
case.
behind
So
the
for any of my
pranks.
Polish viewers out there, feel free to let me know and just get in here and set the record straight about any of this stuff. This absolutely seems wild to me, and I'd love some confirmation on it.
I don't think that shit funny at all.
I will admit.
Here's how the average man's life would change if he never saw an ad again. Day one, he would install Pi on his computer.
I'm on the wrong.
Right out of the gate that there is no way I can fit all of the information about this guy into one measly segment. I implore you to look into some other videos as well for supplemental knowledge, because I promise you, I will only be grazing the top of the iceberg on this one. Only Use Me Blade would join YouTube on March 24th of 2009. With Call of Duty gameplay booming at the time, he decided to join in on the fun with a very unique gameplay style. As his name suggests, he would only use his knife when attacking opponents in the game. This very odd play style caused many people to gain interest in his videos. So many people, in fact, that he would reach 30,000 subscribers around January 6th of 2010 and amass tens of thousands of views per video. Many people praised Blade for his wacky playstyle, saying that, quote, he was the best knifer, and that his style was so fun they decided to copy it. His channel was only going up from there after many popular collaborations, one such YouTuber being Cnanners. These collaborations would often contain what is called a dual commentary, where both of the respected YouTubers would give their commentary as the game went on. It wouldn't be long after these collaborations that he would run into a content creator by the name of Keemstar. They would meet at a Call of Duty Black Ops tournament that had many notable Call of Duty figures at the time. Some notable people being White Boy 7th Street, X-Jaws, and Wings of Redemption. After what seemed like a spark between the two, they would become close friends and even start a podcast by the name of Bad Kid Show. They would also do a bunch of videos in real life together.
No, these are grown
Their
ass
friendship
men.
would diminish, though, in around 2019 after a flurry of accusations, controversy.
Dang, you wasn't lying when you said there are really grown ass men out there still sitting at home in a couch playing video games online. Like these are, I think he older than you.
And
Real
other
shit.
drama. In 2014, Blade would begin streaming and doing what was called drinking streams. Essentially, it was him getting absolutely hammered while live to his audience. It really wasn't anything deeper than that. This change of pace in his content would ultimately lead to his downfall. It became very clear in time that Blade began to suffer from alcoholism.
Online.
He was always slurring his speech in his streams, and coupled with these drinking streams, it wasn't looking good for the guy. On top of his drinking problem, he also couldn't keep his hands to himself. While I won't be showing any footage of these incidents, Blade has been captured on camera multiple times, running his hands along women without their consent. This groping was obviously frowned upon by many. Now, obviously, there's two paths that you can pick in this scenario. One, own up to it and apologize, or two, double down. I want you to take a guess on what Blade did.
He doubled down.
Have a listen.
I just have a lot of love to give. So if some random ugly whore bitch gets groped, she gets groped. Accept it.
He doubled down.
You should be welcome, whore. You should be welcome, whore.
Yo, he was to do this to a female out here in the streets, they will fuck him up. I'm sorry to say it like that, but I gotta say it like that. Yo, people come and do things online that they know they cannot get away with outside in these streets with real life people. I swear to God, like people will come on here, hide behind a keyboard, and think that they could say and do and get away with whatever it is they're doing.
Or seriously, you should be honored that I would ever grope you.
Wow, he really just came out and said that. Okay. His actions and behavior wouldn't get any better. In 2019, he was invited to do an RV stream trip. Right? It should have been nothing more than that, just a simple RV stream, but of course, it only gets worse. Of course it does. Blade, while intoxicated, began to push around a streamer by the name of Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska was getting very fed up with Blade's antics and eventually took matters into his own hands.
Yo, this is why, listen, man, I've been hard-headed. I ain't listened to my baby pops a couple times, but this is why I constantly gotta listen to his ass, because he be on point when he be seeing certain things. I need to listen more, because a lot of these content creators, like, I don't know, like, they willing to do anything and everything just for some money. I'm good on that note. Like, it's unfortunate we come across certain people that we think was cool, but they really not. But I don't know how people on this world. Look at this shit. I wouldn't have been around him.
There we go. You just spilled on my phone and you're touching me like that?
Drinking every day? A whole drunk.
No, you grabbed me, bro.
It was Frank.
I did.
Yo.
You better fucking watch yourself. Bro.
You got a piece of
I'm not nice to you.
He let fame get to him to the point where he got to this. I can't. I don't know how some people do it. Money come and goes. The ones you care about, there's a point in time where you can't even say goodbye or I love you again.
You're big fucking asshole. You spilled Jaeger on my phone, and then you grabbed me and started pressing me on the phone, dude.
This entire RV trip seems like an absolute mess from the get-go, but the thing that really ties everything together is an incident that involves another streamer by the name of Gucci's. While Blade was sitting next to another streamer, he inquires about whether he should go to the back of the RV and have intercourse with the...
What
kind of car do you drive?
A 2022 Tesla Model Y. Why?
If you don't mind me asking, what do you pay for car insurance?
blacked out woman in the back, the streamer being Gucci's.
Can I go have sex with Gucci's real quick?
Hi guys, I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Gucci's would eventually report Blade, and he would be removed from the RV and the trip entirely. About a year after the incident, Gucci's would also confirm these allegations of rape, but stated that she just never followed through with the case.
Hold up, wait a minute.
I think that he never got charged just because it didn't happen. No, it actually did happen. I just didn't fucking charge him. What the
There's also footage of him throwing a dog on stream. Overall, Blade was just on a downward spiral that never...
I mean, he admitted that shit happened on a live. That is crazy. But if I was her, I would have pressed charges. I don't know what's wrong with some females. But if he was trying to, do what he said he was doing, he said, I'll be right back. I got to go pee. Try to play it off after he said what he said. See, a lot of people overhear a lot of things that people say on here. I don't let that shit slide. That was a red flag from the beginning. And people thought of it as a joke until, boom, they hear her confession. What the fuck? But she should have been smarter and pressed charges on that man. He literally said he was going to grape her on live. And did it.
Never seemed to let up. Addicted to alcohol, rapey vibes towards many of the women in his life, and an animal abuser. Blade went from being on top with his YouTube career all the way down to a sad, lost alcoholic that essentially has a fan base paying to see him die every time he flips on the camera. On November 11th,
I noticed that a lot of people that come on here for clicks and views and for the money, right, expecting to get rich on YouTube, they end up crashing out real bad.
Of 2020, Only Use Me Blade got banned after being accused of assault, racism, and spam donations. The 24-hour cam channel got banned, and then his main channel linked to it was banned. If you were ever around during the big boom of the 3 a.m. challenges, you know that I'm J Station was a major driver for that time.
Oh yeah, he did one of the craziest. He sat here and got money off of people saying that his girlfriend passed away in a car accident. Took people to the the memorial where they allegedly his girlfriend died, and told them that her last wishes was for him to get a billion subscribers on his second channel. Like listen, I know there's worser than him, but he is one of the worst ones on here.
Type of
I
content.
know this story.
With his very energetic attitude, you can understand why he had an audience and many people going to watch his videos. While I admit the content and energy is way
Fake
too
his
hyper for
girlfriend's
me,
death
I
for
can still
clicks and views.
understand why a younger audience might enjoy it. I have a quick little teaser as to what he made.
Back with another 3 a.m. challenge. The other day, I actually went to McDonald's. I eat it every single day, and I ordered a single Big Mac, just the Big Mac. I already had a Red Bull, and the total came out to be $6.66. That is the devil's number, guys. 666.
Okay.
And that's McDonald's most ordered item, guys.
If you ever see a video of mine that is edited that obnoxiously and where I am literally screaming at the camera, you can take me out to the shed and old yeller me. That's not me. That is an imposter. Well, I'm J Station.
I say the same thing. It's a clone. It's not me. I'm gonna pull a Kanye West for real, for real. Listen, man, this is crazy. The things people will do and say on social media.
Did make other types of content, such as ordering X thing from the dark web. His bread and butter were his 3 a.m. videos. In his 3 a.m. challenges, there were many instances of him using the death of celebrities and content creators for his own benefit. People said the content was often very exploitative and didn't respect the recently deceased. After the death of rapper Mac Miller, Jay uploaded a video titled R.I.P. Mac Miller Spirit Box Challenge at 3 a.m.
Yeah, he got a lot of backlash for this, a lot of heat.
Speaks about Ariana Grande. Adam22, a creator of the No Jumper podcast, reacted to Jay's video and had a few things to
Damn, I haven't heard about Adam22 in a while. I didn't know they clipped his channel. They clapped him all the way.
say about it. If you're unfamiliar with the No Jumper podcast, the podcast is known for its raw, unfiltered approach on hip-hop and underground culture. Adam22 and his guests discuss a range of topics, including music, fashion, and current events. Here is what he had to say.
I know he's going to a better place now, guys. Smash the like button on this video. Every like on this video is a prayer for Mac Miller, his friends, or his family. Let's try.
Oh no! Are you serious?
He did the most.
I watched this video because I thought it was going to be a cringe fest. That was so much worse than I actually thought it was going to be.
Jay,
he did the most, but like I keep saying, once again, people give this shit shine. People, how can I say it? People make these people get big. So I said, if I don't like the content and I don't like what they're doing and I don't agree with it, I'm out. If I'm in a platform where somebody is pretending to be positive, in the beginning, and then I start noticing that what they really want is beef and drama, I'm out. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but if somebody's not my cup of tea, I'm gonna do the same thing. I expect you to leave. But people sit here and fund this stuff and then turn around and complain after it has blown up. We can only blame ourselves for stuff like this because we let this shit happen. We let it get to the point where, these motherfuckers get all in their ego. They get all, in their pride, and they think they this shit. They think they gods.
Jay even did a video on the passing of XXXTentacion, which
these goddamn ass. I knew I should have did this on my premium channel. I fucked up and left it on this. That's because I was
also received major backlash. This didn't seem to dissuade I'm J Station though. I'm curious if his philosophy on YouTube was negative attention is still attention. The thing that
negative attention is attention, yes, but not all attention is good. For real. Like, that's why I listen, I don't give a fuck about all attention. If you're for the shits and you're for the, bullshit and all that stuff, for the negative stuff, for the toxic shit, they got channels for that. I mean, they won't last for long from what y'all can see. Y'all into the beef and all that, they got channels for that. But from what y'all can see, stuff like that don't last. They got prank channels. They got channels for challenges. I'm not into that. So, I mean, listen, like I said, once I've noticed a channel is like negative, toxic, I'm out there, John. I'm good. And sometimes I have to hit my wall because it's like, it's like sometimes you get this big hope and you're like, nah, this could be different. But something, nah, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Social media is a place where people come for validation, right? And where they're validated at is where they'll go to constantly. I'm not looking for validation. So, I'm good. I ain't selling my soul for no fucking chump change. I'm good.
Essentially united the YouTube community to turn on Jay was when he made a video on the deceased content creator by the name of Etika. Etika was a very popular streamer and YouTuber that brought all sorts of energy and entertainment to the table. You can tell that he enjoyed what he did through his interactions with his chat and just the energy. Of course, J-Station, being J-Station, uploaded a 3 a.m. challenge video about it. This received major backlash from creators that knew Etika personally. J-Station's channel remained, and nothing was actually done about it. Even after the video got 300,000 dislikes in 24 hours, J-Station couldn't take a hint and still kept pressing forward with that type of content. He even made a video that talked about how his girlfriend had died. And of course, in J-Station fashion, he made a 3 a.m. video about it. He claimed that his girlfriend had died in a car accident and that her dying wish was to get his second channel to 1 million subscribers. You can't make this up. Many content creators, such as Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers, were very swift in debunking this claim. One of the major things that led to discovering this was fake was due to no Ottawa cases in the area that matched what J-Station had said. Have a look.
Now, I ended up contacting, Toronto Police Services. I ended up contacting Ottawa Police Services. In fact, I actually have one call that I'm actually allowed to disclose as per an agent of the Toronto Police Services Traffic Department.
No, I don't have anything by that name on the system.
So, in Toronto, nobody has been, nobody by that name specifically has suffered any form of death, right?
No.
J-Station is lying about his dead girlfriend. I've spent the entire night browsing and checking with police department in Toronto and Ottawa. No police reports, no local news agencies, and
to this day, I wonder what made the girlfriend come out. Like, I mean, because he didn't get charged. They did charge him, but he walked away. I'm gonna put it like that, right? Like, what made the girlfriend come out? Right? Like, did she get scared? Did she get nervous because people started searching her, started trying to see if she was dead or not? Like, and once again, like I said, people let this man take it this far, right? Regardless, he was going to try to take it this far, whether, people let him or not. But people, I say, condone to this shit. People liked it. People made him get so famous and so viral that it was like, this man thought he was walking on water, like God. I'm telling y'all.
And worst of all, no family is confirming. The shit out of I'm done with YouTube. I'm dumb for feeling sorry. He would later be arrested for faking his girlfriend's death and for assault with a deadly weapon. He would be taken to court on March 16th of 2020. Shortly after that, YouTube would go on to demonetize his main YouTube channel for his arrest. On March 12th of 2021, Jay's channels would get terminated for violating YouTube's terms of service due to his faked dead girlfriend videos. His attempts to come back, but it has been unsuccessful. He also apparently attempted to leverage Dr. Phil's platform to get him on YouTube, but that obviously wasn't successful.
I mean, ain't none of that shit gonna be successful, because once people find out that you're a fake, that you're on here playing scripts, that you're trying to manipulate people, that you're cheating people out their money, you're scamming them, it ain't no turning back from that. One's like, listen, I wish people will realize that, like, damn, if you disrespect it, why you go back? You're gonna keep getting the disrespect. But it's like, oh man, I don't know. See, I don't go back where I feel uncomfortable. I don't go back to where I feel disrespected. I don't go back to where, I feel like something's not right. I just keep it moving, for real. I reply if I have to reply, and I just keep it pushing. Other than that, man, I'm good, because people on here are too emotional.
While YouTube is a wonderful platform with a lot of information to give, there are obviously creators out there that want to abuse the system or go out of their way to do really bad things. Before we hop in the end segment, though, I would like to thank my tormented knights and my knight.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that, man. it's crazy. Once again, right? Be careful with what you do on these platforms, man. You can get banned for what you do and what you say. People, I mean, I guess they like testing the system. They like testing, to see what happens next. I'm not a psycho, like really for real. I'm not trying to test to see if I can go behind bars or if I'm going to lose my life tomorrow or if I could hurt somebody. If anything, I'm going to come on this John, like I said, and continue to do what I've been doing all the time. I'm going to bring awareness, right? We're going to bring positive conversations, positive topics. We're going to, talk about everything we got to talk about on this John. And if somebody doesn't like it, they can keep it pushing. Hey, listen, if my opinion offends you, that's on you. There's nothing I can change about that, right? Because like I've said before, time after time, an opinion is an opinion, right? An opinion is like an asshole. Everyone has one. So on that note, man, I appreciate everybody that came through, that rocked out with a shorty. Man, I've been on here, 4 hours already? So let me get off this, John. I will come on later on tonight. I was just telling that to my baby pops. He's like, tonight, I told him, like, tonight I'm getting on this, John. Like, we're going to do some TikTok reactions and we're going to finish the current news and we're going to open the panel up for anybody that wants to, have a conversation and talk. And hopefully my baby pop comes and joins, right? Because he's got a couple things that he want to talk about and we'll get a male's perspective on this, John, other than the male perspectives that we've had already. Come on panel and speak with a shorty. Till next time, this is your shorty Rachel. I hope all of y'all have a blessed and humble day. Continue to have a blessed and humble afternoon.